Good evening, distinguished trainers and fellow Toastmasters. A warm welcome to the very first ever contest role players training and judges training program of the year 2024-25, District 124. I am Manvi Kumar, your sergeant at arms for the day. I'm sure you all are excited to be trained from our experienced trainers today, right? To begin with, let me state the Toastmasters mission statement. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we begin the training, I would like to highlight few key points. I request everyone to please stay on mute throughout the training, unmute only when the trainers ask you to do so. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmasters International does not put any restriction on speaking on these topics, we at District 124 request all the members and guests to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. I also urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we as a district practice diversity and inclusion both in letter and in spirit, hence ensuring there are no sexist, racist, or any such undertone that creates hostility and discomfort for the members and the guests. Please do not exit the meeting room because we only have a specific slot and we cannot go above 100 participants. So I request you to stay throughout the meeting. All these members are expected to attend the entire training program with their videos turned on. Our Sergeant at Arms, including me and Toastmaster Day, will be monitoring the attendance and will be noting whosoever is off camera throughout. Each member should complete the judges training program assessment that will be rolled out at the end of the session, and a minimum score of 70% is compulsory so that we can certify you as a certified judge. At the conclusion of the event, you will receive a feedback form. Please take few minutes to fill out as your feedback is valuable to all of. Thank you for your attention. Now let's proceed with the training program. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to someone who currently is the District Chief Judge of District 124. To give a brief about him, he has been working for over 5 years in an edtech industry, currently working with a Singapore-based firm that closely works with the top tier B schools in India. He is he has already taken various roles in club divisions and districts, and he currently is a district chief judge. Can we give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Asankhya Vishwamohan? Toastmaster Asankhya, the stage is all yours for further proceedings.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manvi. A round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms and all of us for joining on time. And thank you so much, Manvi, for setting the context and starting the session today. Welcome all of you to the first ever online judges training as well as the contest role play training program. And I welcome you all. I will lay down how this entire session will be going forward. And before I do that, I'll just mention the objective of conducting the club contest role play training or the judges training program. Like all of us, we will be part of certain contests in the next course of 1 year, and making sure that we are prepared for the next set of 1 year, because this is something we are transitioning to in-person contest this year after a gap of 4 years. So the onus lies on us as members, as speakers, as communicators, most importantly as club leaders, to make sure that we are prepared for the challenges that lie ahead, because from area level onwards, all the contests will be in person right up to the district level. We will be having four contests this year: the evaluation speech contest, the table topics contest, the international speech contest. Lastly, a newly introduced contest by Toastmasters, that is an online speech contest, for which a lot of further details will be followed again in the coming few weeks. Today, we have two set of training sessions. First and foremost, we will be conducting the contest role play training, that will be conducted by led by distinguished Toastmaster Nirmika, followed by another JTP, that's the Judges Training Program that will be conducted by distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pal. Now, I would like to introduce the trainer for the contest role play training program. She is someone who has been a Toastmaster for more than 8 years now. Charter member of one of the first clubs of North Bengal, that is the Siliguri Toastmasters Club, who has started her leadership journey initially as a VPPR, transitioning into more of area to division based executive roles that was catering to more of the Bengal region. She has been a two-term division director for the earlier District 41 and a former assistant professor English, now a freelancer with the British Council Global Hub. She is currently serving as the Associate Program Quality Director for District 124. I would like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Nirmika Subba to take the proceedings forward. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, District Chief Judge Toastmaster Sankhya, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today, as we conduct this contest role players training program, I am taken back to the time when we were very new in the Toastmasters journey. And the first ever contest that we had no inkling of what was happening around us. And I remember distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pyle, the erstwhile era director, caught our hands and taught us how things are done. But now with you all, it's much easier because we've devised this contest role players training specially for you, keeping in mind the core values of Toastmasters, because each and every one of us are responsible for giving quality service to our members, and that can only be done when we conduct our roles properly. And among those, important is the contest role players, because we are the ones responsible for upholding the quality of the contests that are being conducted. On that note, let's begin with the training. So today we will be looking at what are the different contest roles and how can you carry out these roles and where can you find the support that you need. Now let's look at what are the contest roles. A contest chair, contest toastmaster, chief judge, voting judge, tie-breaking judge, tally counters, timers, test speaker, sergeant at arms, and tech master, of course, for online contests. So these are some of the contest roles that are there. Now, let me quickly ask you, you can just type over the chat, who or who can be a contest chair and what could be the responsibility of a contest chair? Or let's see a raise of hands and maybe somebody can just unmute and answer. Can I see a raise of hands, please? Okay, I can't see. Just a moment.
Mr. Akshat from Inspiria Toastmasters is raising his hand.
Okay, Toastmaster Akshat, can you
Yes, ma'am.
tell us what is the role of a contest chair?
Yes, ma'am. I may not have a definite answer for it, but from what I can assume from the name, the contest chair is mainly the individual who might actually host or will be handling the entirety of the contest. And just like the word chair is mainly present there, I assume they're like the chairman for the entire contest that's mainly present within the club.
Yes. Thank you so much, Akshat. You
Most
are
welcome,
there.
ma'am.
Thank you. Now, let's quickly look at what the contest chair, as Akshat put it, is one of the main people who takes care, who ensures that all the role players are there in place and everything is in order for whatever contests are being conducted. So let's look at the contest chair, the main person's role in any contest. So a contest chair's responsibilities can be divided into the following, that is the before the contest, during the contest, and after the contest. Would anyone be able to tell me what could be one of the responsibilities of a contest chair before the contest? Can we see a raise of hands? I'll request the host to kindly help me with the hands. Okay, I see Toastmaster Garima has raised a hand. Toastmaster Garima, if you could kindly unmute yourself.
I think before the contest, she needs to ensure all the role players are there and conduct a meeting with them so that they know what they are up for, and all the judges and everyone have their own lineup and have a word with all the contest people taking up the roles.
Right. And Toastmaster Ramesha, who do you think are these contest role players that Toastmaster Garima mentioned just now?
The people that were mentioned along with the contest chair, such as the timer, the test speaker, the sergeant at arms.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramesha. So let's look at what are the responsibilities of a contest chair before the contest. Now, before the contest chair needs to confirm the venue, date, and time of the contest. So you are the person responsible for organizing the venue and confirming the date and time of the contest in obviously in with the division director or the area director for which you would be a contest chair. And now, this is very, very important. A contest chair is the one who appoints the chief judge. And how would you know who is eligible to be a chief judge? Now, to make your work easier after the judges training program and after the chief judges training program that is going to be held on the 14th, a list will be shared with all of you, with all the area directors and the division directors. And from the eligible chief judges, you would be able to appoint a chief judge. And then you could, again, you'd have to check the eligibility before finalizing the chief judge. And that, again, the list that would come to you would be able to help you on that. Then appoint contest Toastmaster. Now, this is optional. You can choose to appoint a contest Toastmaster, or you could choose to do the contest or conduct the contest yourself. And you need to appoint 2 to 3 sergeant at arms. Now, since we are moving from the online contests to offline contests, the role of the sergeant at arms becomes more serious when it comes to offline contests because they have a lot of responsibilities to take care of. So in the offline contests, I think you should be having at least 3 sergeant at arms. But if you can have 4 sergeant at arms, even better, because especially during the evaluation and table topics contest, where you would be requiring a sergeant-at-arms in a separate room, you would be requiring a sergeant-at-arms who would be escorting the participants from the separate room to the main room, and there would be somebody at the main room who would be letting in these contestants. So the sergeant at arms have very important roles to play when it comes to offline contests. And in the online contests, you already know one sergeant at arms is sent to the breakout room along with the contestants for table topics and evaluation. And another sergeant at arms remains in the main room, keeping an eye on whether there are contestants who have come in from the breakout room or if somebody is still in the main room when they're supposed to be in the breakout room. And then another appointment, important appointment, which you have to do as a contest chair is to appoint a test speaker for evaluation contest. Now, you are the person responsible for appointing a test speaker. And how are you supposed to appoint these test speakers and what are you supposed to tell them? The test speakers have to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech and they would have to deliver a contest type from their pathways learning. Now Now, you also need to determine the agenda of the contest along with your area director or your division director or even the the club presidents. Then procure certificates of participation, winning, and trophies. Now, this year, the trophies for area contests have already been dispatched, so you would be receiving it well in advance. So please check with the area directors if the contest trophies have arrived or not. Then you need to conduct the contest officials briefing. This is very, very important. And also you need to conduct the contestants briefing. Now, what are we supposed to do in the contest officials briefing? The contest officials briefing, it should be called well in advance so that if there is somebody who is conducting a role for the first time, that person is well trained in their roles by the time the contest is ready to begin. So you should at least be calling the contest officials briefing a week in advance, and this can be done offline or online, and brief each contest official on their role and responsibilities. Like, say, for example, if you have a contest master, you should be giving the contest script to the contest master, telling her how things are done, or the sergeant at arms, give responsibility to the sergeant at arms as to who will be taking care of the main room, who will be securing the doors, and who will be in the separate room, and who will be escorting the the participants from the separate room to the main room. And the sergeant at arms of online contests must be informed to be extra alert to avoid malpractices, especially during evaluation and table topics contests. Now, when we talk about malpractices in an online contest, what could be the malpractices that we're talking about? Can anyone tell me? Raise your hands and tell me. Yes, Toastmaster Akshat. Okay, we have Toastmaster Ruby. I'll give a chance to Toastmaster Ruby since I've already heard Toastmaster Akshat. Yes, Toastmaster Ruby.
To avoid cheating.
Cheating. What kind of cheating are we talking about?
Suppose for the table topic contest, if the topics has been shared through mobile phones or anything like that.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Yes, Divakar, Toastmaster Divakar.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. So
Good evening.
malpractices which can happen during evaluation or table topic contest can be someone might join from two devices and look at the other contest speech. And in this happens mostly in table topic contest when someone joins from a second device and listens to the table topic and try to
Exactly.
cheat during the contest. So this can be a malpractice.
Yes. So the sergeant at arms of online contests must be aware and they should be taking care of all these things. And even the first contestant is supposed to be in the main room and not in the breakout room. So it is the sergeant at arms who has to keep a watch on that as well. Now, coming to the contestants briefing. Now, it is very, very important that we inform the contestants briefing well in advance. According to the speech contest rule book, it is said that the contestants must be informed at least 2 to 6 weeks ahead of the contest about the contestants briefing so that maximum participation can be met during the contestants briefing. And before the contest, what are the responsibilities? You need to check whether the contestant is eligible as per the contest rule book before the contest. Now, what is the first and foremost thing that we need to check? Whether the contestant is a paid member of a club, or whether the contestant is a district leader or not. Now, why do we need to check whether a contestant is a district leader or not? Can anyone tell me? Can we see a raise of hands? Yes, Toastmaster Rashmi.
Because the district leader cannot participate in any contest.
Yes. So the district leaders are not eligible to participate in the contests. That is why we need to check whether the contestant is a district leader or not. And now verify educational qualifications, confirm that they have completed levels 1 and 2 of any path or earned the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Now, does this apply to all the contests? Somebody can just unmute and tell me. Does this educational qualification? Yes, Toastmaster Ronak.
It does not apply to table topics
And?
and evaluation.
Right, you're correct. So it only applies to the international speech contest. So anyone who wants to participate in an international speech contest must have completed level 1 or 2. Now, when does this rule not apply? Can anyone tell me? In the case of
Yes, ma'am.
ISC, yes.
I think if the member has recently joined a new club.
New club? How recent?
Must be 6 months.
Okay, when you say new club, does it mean that if I am a member of Darjeeling Toastmasters Club and I go and join Siliguri Toastmasters Club, which is a new club for me, will I be eligible?
No.
A club which is recently chartered.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you are a member of a recently chartered club, then you are eligible to participate in the international speech contest without completing level 2. Okay. Now, before the contestants briefing, notify the contestants of pre-contest briefing well in advance, as I told you. Verify the presence of all contestants. Now, it is important that these contestants are there for the contestants briefing, mainly because all the rules and regulations would be run through with them. Besides that, one important event happens during the contestants briefing. Can anyone tell me what is that?
Polls are being conducted.
Sorry?
Polls.
Polls.
A lineup of the
Yes,
contestants.
Toastmaster.
The
Yes.
lineup of the contestants.
Draw of lots for the speaking position is done during the contestants briefing, and it is mandatory for the contestants to be present for the draw of lots. Now, you also need to verify the spelling and pronunciation of the names in order to ensure that the wrong name and the spelling is not being sent across to the judges and the chief judge. Now, review contest rules with the contestants. Now, how many of you here have actually read the speech contest rule book? Can we see a raise of hands? Okay, I can see Divakar, I can see Toastmaster Manvi, Mohammed Rubel, Toastmaster Rashmi. Great. So we will come to know whether you have actually read the rule book or not later on, because we have something devised for you all. We will come to know whether you've actually read the speech rule book or not. Anyway, so what are the things that we need to tell the contestants? Review speakers' certification of eligibility and originality. Now, what is this? What is this certification of eligibility and originality?
To make sure that they're paid members.
Sorry?
To make sure that they are paid members, at the same time they belong to a club which is functioning.
Is it a certificate that we present to them?
No, they need to sign a form.
Yes, it is a form which needs to be signed saying that they are a paid member of a club and they have completed their educational eligibility criteria, which is level 2. Remind contestants that by signing this form, they certify that they have read and understood the rules regarding eligibility and originality. Review timing protocols with contestants. You all know that a speech contest, an international speech contest is for 5 to 7 minutes. Table topics is for 1 to 2 minutes and evaluation is for 2 to 3 minutes. So we need to run through the timing protocols and tell the contestants where the timer lights will be. Now, in the offline contest, it is one of the responsibilities of the contest chair to inform the contestants as to the location of the timer lights. They should know. And in the online contests, obviously the timer cards will be shared online. So they should be able to see the timer cards when they are delivering their speeches. Conduct the draw of lots to determine the speaking order. Ask contestants if they have any special requirement. And it is also the contest chair's responsibility to see if those special requests can be met. Note down the list of props being used by the contestants. Now, what do we do after listing down the props that the contestants would be using? Can anyone tell me? What do we do with the list of props?
We can place it in front, maybe.
Yes, Toastmaster Manvi.
As contest, I believe we share it with the chief judge.
Yes. The list of props has to be shared with the chief judge so that the chief judge and the judges know that props are being used in that particular speech, right? Now, before the contest, what are the points to be briefed to the online contestants? No virtual backgrounds are allowed. Keep your background clutter-free. Preferably choose a blank wall as the background. Choose a quiet room with adequate lighting to compete from. Now, this will apply to the online speech contests that our district has chosen. So please keep a watch on this. Test your camera and microphone. Place your camera at an eye level to ensure proper eye contact while delivering the speech. Do not wear any of your Toastmasters pins. Now, this applies for both offline and online. When you are a contestant, you are not supposed to wear any of your Toastmasters pin when you go up on the stage. Choose to stand and deliver your speech, even if you are on an online contest. Now, during the contest chair's responsibilities would be to open the contest with a brief introduction and inform the audience that the chief judge and all the contest role players and the contestants have been briefed. And for the offline contest, the contestants have been informed of the location of the timing lights. And also, another important thing which we need to do in the offline contests is mark the speaking area. Now, and in the offline contest, in the online contest, the demonstration of the timer cards have been done for the contestants. And in the offline contests, you have to remember that photography during the speeches is not permitted until and unless there is a prior approval that has been sought from the contest chair. Now, you need to note down the names of those contestants who would have requested for photography and pass it on to the chief judge, who in turn will inform the judges about the permission for photography. Now, let's move on to during the contest. Introduce each contest speaker. Do not make preliminary remarks about any speaker or the subject of their speech. That means there is no need to give any introduction of the speaker. All you need to do is mention the speaker's name and the speech title, and the speaker's name. And introduce each contestant slowly and clearly. Upon completion of contest, while the ballots are being counted, conduct the interview of the contestants using the contestants' biographical information, which you would have to collect well in advance, along with the certification of speaker's eligibility. On completing the interview, collect the contest results from the chief judge, handle protests if any. Now, why should a contest chair be handling a protest if there is any? And can anyone tell me? We have Toastmaster Jatin, whose hand is up. Toastmaster Jatin, would you like to add something?
I had a question about the virtual background and props.
Sorry?
I had a question about virtual background and props.
Okay, can we take the question in the end?
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, Toastmaster Ziaur.
Handle protest need sometime someone can say something about marking.
Okay. Toastmaster Divakar.
Yes, ma'am. A contest chair needs to handle protest because a protest can only be lodged to the contest chair. That is
Contest chair and another official. And the chief judge. Yes, and who can file these protests?
Only
Is it the audience?
No, it cannot be the audience. It can be the participants or the voting judge.
And on what grounds can somebody raise a protest?
Eligibility and originality.
Eligibility, originality, and there's one more point.
Reference from another speech.
Reference to another person's speech. Thank you. You're correct in saying that. So that is the reason why the contest chair, along with the chief judge, also needs to handle protests. Now, prior to announcing results, the chair must announce if any disqualifications have occurred. But of course, we do not mention any names over here. We just mention that there has been a disqualification on the basis of time, on grounds of time. And in closing, thank all who helped contribute to the success of the contest. So these are the responsibilities of the contest chair during the contest. Now, after the contest, provide contact details of all contestants to the chief judge so that he or she can complete the notification of contest winner form. And you also need to confirm with the chief judge has given the form, handed it over to the contest chair of the next level of contest. So these are your responsibilities after the contest. Now, let's move on to the Sergeant at Arms responsibilities. I think I have more or less explained the role of the Sergeant at Arms, but let's quickly go through the role of the Sergeant at Arms. For the offline contest, the Sergeant at Arms must begin the contest by reading the following ground rules, that is to switch off or put devices on silent mode, not to move around or leave the room while the contest is in progress, not to cross-talk or prompt when the contest is in progress. And you, as a sergeant at arms, you also need to keep a watch of all these things that you would have mentioned in the ground rules. For the online contest, the sergeant at arms must begin the contest by reading the online speech contest statement or the online disclaimer, and the ground rules would apply. That would apply are to stay on mute except when you are speaking, not to share any content on the screen, and you will also be keeping your video on as an audience member. Please be seated in a well-lit room and avoid any movement while your video is on. So these are some of the rules that the Sergeant at Arms should read before an online contest, along with the online speech contest statement. Now, during the offline contest, the Sergeant at Arms must ensure that the doors are secured before the contest can begin. All digital and physical devices are collected from the contestants of evaluation and table topics contest. So before the contestants are sent to the separate room, it is the duty of the Sergeant at Arms to collect all their devices from them and keep it with him until the contest gets over. A separate room is secured during the evaluation contest and table topics contest. And in the separate room, the sergeant at arms would have to keep a watch whether the the contestants are speaking, cross-talking with each other, or whether they are using, if there is anything that is happening besides what is supposed to happen, that means writing their evaluations or waiting for their turns for in the case of table topics contest. And the evaluation sheets are collected from the contestants after 5 minutes. So the sergeant at arms should also be keeping a watch on the time allotted to the contestants to write their evaluations. Now, the contestants are led into and out of the room one by one during evaluation and table topics contest. Now, during the online contest, the sergeant at arms must ensure that they join the breakout room during the evaluation and table topics contest, ensure that the evaluation sheet is folded and their hands are visible during the evaluation contest, and they also have to confirm that the contestants have joined the breakout room and their main and backup devices also have been brought into the breakout room. Now, this is very, very important during the evaluation and table topics contest. And check if cameras of the contestants are switched on until the contest gets over. Now, timer responsibilities. The timers are appointed by the chief judge and not by the contest chair. So we keep a note of that. 2 timers are appointed by the chief judge. In the offline contest, timer 1 is provided with a stopwatch. Timer 2 is provided with a signaling device that displays green, yellow, and red colors. It could be lights, or it could be the timer cards. And they also provide with speech contest time record sheet. Now, in the online contest, timer 1 and timer 2 must be given screen sharing rights. Timer 1 must shares the timer cards. Timer 2 also keeps a record of the time on the time record sheet, and they act as backup for each other. Now, timer sharing the signaling device or the timer card must ensure that the contestants can see the timer signals in both online and offline contests. That is why it is important that we do a quick check, especially on an online contest, before the contestants can begin their speeches. So we do an audio video check and also the sharing of the timer cards. Now, for online contests, a tech master is appointed, and the tech master must create a Zoom meeting room. The tech master must create breakout rooms before the contest begins for both evaluation and table topics contest. The tech master must also lock the meeting room and disable the chat option once the contest begins. Now, the tech master must also ensure that all the contestants are brought back to the main room one after the other. Now, you as the tech master, you have that option of broadcasting a message to the breakout room. So as and when the speakers complete their speech, during the 1 minute of silence, you broadcast the message to the breakout room, and you bring the next contestant into the room. The tech master must check if any contestant is in the main room, when it is not their turn to speak. So the tech master should be aware of what is happening in the room and must keep an eye on whether any contestant who is not supposed to be in the room is there in the room or not. And if the tech master must check if the contestants have joined the breakout room with their backup device. Now, along with the sergeant at arms, it is also the tech master's responsibility to check that the contestant has gone to the breakout room with both their devices. Now, getting started, attend district sponsored contest role players training at division TLIs. Now, some of you must have attended the contest role players training in the division, the TLIs, but most of you are attending it today. So the first one is done. Read the speech contest rule book. Now, this is very important. If you have any doubts, please go back to the speech contest rule book and read through the rules that are there. Whatever I've shared with you today is all there in the speech rule book. Read materials to help you carry out the roles efficiently. take tips from senior members who have carried out contest roles at various levels. Now, there are some additional resources which you can find in the Toastmasters International website. You can just go through them. And as I said, the first and foremost is speech contest rule book. And then there is best practices on online speech contest. You can go through that as well. And with that, we come to the end of the contest role players training. Now, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. And now I am ready to take any questions you have. Starting with Toastmaster Jatin. Toastmaster Jatin, you had a question earlier.
Yeah, thank you for that detailed training, Toastmaster Nandika. I had a quick question about virtual backgrounds. What if a participant or contestant wants to use a virtual background as a prop?
As a prop. Okay, see, as of now, it is said that we cannot use virtual backgrounds, but I think that can be done with the help of the chief judge and taking permission from the chief judge. We can, if the virtual background is used as a prop, permission can be granted by the chief judge.
So it's just a regular process of informing the contest chair and the chief judge.
Yes. Whenever the contest chair asks you about the props, that is when you give us the list of whatever props you would be using.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Toastmaster Amisha.
Just out of curiosity, if a contestant is colorblind, how would you signal them regarding the time?
During the online contest, we have an option of typing the timings on the chat. So the contestant can be advised and the contestant would have to inform the contest chair and the timer well in advance that they cannot see the timer cards. In that case, the timings can be written on the chat. So they would have to keep a watch on that.
Thank you.
Yes, Toastmaster Jatin.
I think the standard backgrounds or the cards that we use online also have the color written on the top left corner. But that's something that is also we could keep an eye on, or the contestant could keep an eye on. But it's a good point that we should ensure that all the cards that are being used have the name of the color written on them.
Yes, that could also be one option. Thank you, Toastmaster Jatin. Okay, do we have any other questions?
Nirmika, if there are no questions, I would like to say a couple of things.
Yes, ma'am.
So, good evening, everyone. It's really nice to see so many of you have joined. One question which is being put forward from a lot of people to me is about the online contest. So just to clarify, we had put out a poll amongst the district officers to decide how many contests the district will be holding. And we have decided to go for 4 contests. One is mandatory, the ISC contest. Apart from that, District 124 has decided to go for evaluation contest, table topic contests, and the online contests. Now, we all know what ISC evaluation and table topic contest is all about. As far as the online contest is concerned, we do not have the ballot paper as yet. I have written to TI and they have said that that will be made available to us sometime towards end September. Once we get it, we will definitely share it with you. As of now, the information we have regarding the online contest is, it is like an ISC speech, which is 5 to 7 minutes long. That's all the information we have. Now, there are some clubs which are not online clubs. So they have come up and asked whether they need to do the contest. So let us please understand, when we talk of district means area, division. So no division can take a decision that they will not conduct any one of these 4 contests. The area cannot decide that we are not taking part in any of these contests. But let us say there is a particular area with 4 clubs, and all 4 clubs say we do not want to have an online contest for whatever reason. Then the area will go unrepresented in the district, in the division. And the division contest will be held with whoever other clubs in that division are wanting to take part in the contest. Secondly, when we talk of online contest, it is not restricted only to online clubs. Even clubs that are meeting physically are more than welcome to conduct these online contests. I doubt there will be a situation where every club of every area of every division turns up saying we are not holding the online contest. So even if there's just one club in the area which says they will have an online contest, it is mandatory for the area to conduct the contest even if there's just one contestant. Please understand that. And the reason being, the person who's contesting can easily get disqualified on account of time, even if not on account of originality. So even if there's just one contestant in the area, the contest will have to be held. In case it so happens that the contestant gets disqualified, the area goes unrepresented in division. Otherwise, as a district, because we have decided to have 4 contests, it is mandatory for every area and division to definitely hold all 4 contests. Yes? Any questions on the contest? I'm more than willing to answer in case anyone has any queries.
Toastmaster Jeet and Toastmaster Jatin who've raised their hand. Yes, Toastmaster Jeet.
Ma'am, is there any requirement of tech master in offline contest?
No.
Thank you.
Yes, Toastmaster Jatin.
Yeah. Hello, Bhanan and Toastmaster Nirmika. Regarding the timings for online contests, this is something that we encountered last year, so that's why I wanted to highlight it. And if something is already decided on, it can be rolled out. Regarding disconnections, when people drop out and the time that they have to reconnect, since the online contest may, or rather the club contest may be online, and then the online contest would be online itself. So if that has been standardized, if that's something that can be communicated.
This is something which the district chief judge will be rolling out about the do's and don'ts, and there will be a guideline given by the district chief judge explaining exactly what is to be done in case of a disruption in network. And for each of the contests, there will be a guideline on that.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Toastmaster Ehsan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nirmika. I have a question for Toastmaster Abham ma'am. That is, if the online contest is going to held in the first half of the year or the second half of the year? The online contest timing.
So all the area directors and division directors have been informed that the last date for conducting a division contest, for all division contests, all 4 contests, the last date is 20th April 2025. Distinguished Master Nirmika has also floated a Google form requesting all area directors to fill in their dates of the area conferences. So now the idea being, when the division has decided, when the district says last date is 20th April 2025, we are expecting all the areas and clubs to conduct their respective contests much before that. When you wish to conduct your contest is entirely up to you. But if you ask for a suggestion, we would suggest that the evaluation and the table topics, because these are shorter contests, you can conduct it over one day, and the ISC can be conducted later. Let us also not forget that renewals are greatly impacted by contests, and there's a lot of excitement to take part in contests. So we should try and time it somewhere around the renewals. Your exact dates, we leave it to the clubs and the areas to decide.
Okay, thank you so much, Abha ma'am. Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any other questions relating to contest role player or even contests? We still have some time. Okay, so Toastmaster Bhavna has mentioned, can this PowerPoint presentation be shared to all of us via email? Yes, we have Toastmaster Dev who's raised his hand. Yes, Toastmaster Dev. Toastmaster Dev.
With respect to the PowerPoint presentation, kindly note this presentation as well as the judges training program presentation, PPT, has already been shared with all the division directors. So in case anybody requires it, kindly reach out to them. This has already been shared with everybody.
And we also have a very important document that we have created. So with that, I think a lot of things will be easier for all the role players. For each role, we have made a checklist, and we will be sharing that shortly. And with that, I think most of your questions and your problems will be solved.
I think the judges training program training is going to start at 7:30.
Yes, ma'am.
So in case anybody would like to go for a bio break, probably this is the time one can go.
Yes, ma'am. We have Jatin, Toastmaster Jatin and Toastmaster Jeet who've raised their hands again. Yes, Toastmaster Jeet.
Ma'am, I had one question.
Okay.
I was not able to understand what is meant by chartered club. So could you kindly explain that one?
A chartered club is a new club that has been formed recently.
Thank you.
Yes, Toastmaster Jatin.
Just one more request. In the document, either the presentation or the checklist that's being shared, if you could also mention the eligibility criteria for the role players. I think the judges would anyways have special criteria, but the eligibility criteria for the contestants, and or rather the role players, and how they do not conflict with the contestants. If that could be
Yes.
mentioned, that would be good.
Yes. See, the first and foremost eligibility criteria for any role player would be that they have to be a paid member. And besides that, they would have to have undergone the contest role players training, which we are conducting now and which have been conducted in the TLI. The list will also be shared with you. The list of all the trained people will be shared with all the division directors.
Yeah, just additional ones, like, for example, the test speaker cannot be a district officer.
Right.
And similarly for judges, there are additional criterion that prevent them from being a judge,
Yes.
or
So
rather qualifying them for being a judge.
yes, that is mentioned there. The test speaker should not be a member of any of the clubs from which the contestants are contesting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jatin. Yes, Toastmaster Nidhi.
Hi, Toastmaster Nirmika. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. It was quite informative. Just one quick question I wanted to have. Is there any particular eligibility criteria to be a chief judge or a voting judge with respect to level completion?
we have our district chief judge who would be able to answer that best for you. Toastmaster Sankhya.
Hi, distinguished. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nirmika. So primarily, you are expected from a eligibility standpoint, uh, particularly in IS, from area level onwards, it is said that you should be a level 2 and above, that you should have completed at least a level 2. From club,
Okay.
again, that is something that is suggested you should be completing at least a level 2. But from area level, it is something that is mandatory that you should be a level 2 or an above in pathways to be an eligible judge. Over and above that, you should have completed at least 6 months in Toastmasters, and you should have gone the judges training program to be a certified judge in District 124 Toastmasters.
And is it something like within last 2 years you have completed the chief judge, or to refresh your, eligibility for the rules or something?
Thank you so much. Again, a pertinent question. This is something that has been asked a lot of times. So you are expected to go through the judges training program this year, and for the judges from the 2 previous years, an assessment email has already been rolled out almost 3 to 4 weeks back, wherein you can complete that assessment, score a minimum 70%, and become a certified judge and carry forward your certification. This primarily just applies for the judges who were trained in the previous 2 years of District 184, the 2 previous program years.
Okay, and for somebody who has, just attending this, it would not be applicable, right?
Be applicable, you are expected to complete that assessment. That will be rolled out after the session. Once the JTP session, we will be sharing that then and there here in the chat box itself.
Fair enough. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sankhya. That really helps.
Thank you.
Just one point with respect to judges' eligibility. Judges have to be paid members, but they need not be paid members of a paid club.
I hope that's clear. By paid member of not even a paid club, that means even if suppose your club is having members below 8 members, but if you are a paid member of that respective club, then you are good to go.
Yes.
But you should be a paid member of any club in.
For contestants, it is mandatory. You have to be a paid member of a club in good standing, which has more than 8. But for a judge, it need not be a club in good standing.
We have Toastmaster Bhavna who's raised her hand. We have last 3 minutes. We can just quickly take the last question for the day. Toastmaster Bhavna.
Yeah, hi Toastmaster Nirmika. Hello everyone. I have one question that as it was mentioned that for the qualifications level, so a participant needs to complete level 1 or level 2 to
No, not or. It is level 1 and 2.
And 2. Okay.
Yes.
Level 1 and 2 it needs to be completed in order to participate in the contest. So since I haven't completed my level 1 yet, so am I eligible for this?
You can participate in the table topics and evaluation contest, but you are not eligible to participate in the ISC contest yet. But if you can complete your level 2 by the time your club conducts the ISC, then you are eligible.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavna. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patient hearing. If you have any questions offline, you can always call me. I'll just drop my write a message to me. I can drop my number over here. You all can drop a message to me if you have any further questions. Thank you very much, and over to you, Toastmaster Sankhya.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nirmika, for conducting this training. This is a first in our district and extremely well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nirmika. A round of applause for our trainer for the club contest role play training program. The first ever contest role play training program that I ever saw that has been started from this program here itself by District 124. Thank you so much. Let's proceed forward for the next segment of the CRTP along with the JTP that we had planned. That's the judges training program. And again, as I was mentioning, as members, as upcoming judges, certified judges, the onus lies on us to be well prepared for the upcoming challenges that lie ahead, wherein we can make sure that we are uh, again getting the certification done, understanding the know-hows with respect to what goes behind becoming a effective judge, not just wherein we can evaluate, but in Toastmasters, this is one other aspect wherein we have to judge the respective speakers that will be taking up participating in the upcoming contest. Even for someone who is an aspiring contestant, we need to be aware about the parameters that goes behind what particularly the judges parameters entail, what are those uh, parameters that we need to make sure that we are aware, how can the judges mark me as a contestant, that we can effectively utilize those parameters for our advantage. So let's proceed further. Without further ado, I would like to invite the next session, the trainer for the next session, who again has donned a lot of hats in the past, currently again serving as a district parliamentarian for District 124. He is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pal. I would like to share again a little about him before we proceed further. He is again an IBM accredited IT. Just a second. Yeah. So he is an IBM accredited IT consultant, an author, a speaker, and educator with a passion for volunteering. He is a senior consultant at IBM with almost 2 decades of experience in a perseverant doer and a creative thinker who loves pursuing excellence and guiding individuals and teams to seek their true potential. A three-time distinguished Toastmaster, that's the highest recognition in Toastmasters, a former district table topics champion, that's the impromptu speaking champion. And Pal has played several leadership roles across District 82, while District 41, and presently the District 124. He has been a club officer for more than 56 times, a club sponsor, mentor, coach for more than 45 times, and a district officer for 10 times. This is the 10th year. He is serving as a district officer and presently the district parliamentarian. More importantly, a friend, a mentor, a guide who has initially handholded me in my district journey in District 24, helping me reach my potential where I am today. So without further ado, I would like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pal to take the proceedings forward for the judges training program. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Asankhya. I would like to know whether you can all see me clearly and hear me clearly.
It's clear, man.
Wonderful. So are you able to see my screen as well? Can you confirm?
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you so much. So because I'm sharing the screen, I was not able to have access to my alternate device. From time to time, I would like Asankhya and the others to let me know if there are any burning questions that have been asked, which in case I miss it, I'm going to stop sharing and take the question and ensure we all are on the right page. With that, let's begin the judges training program. What to expect? Why JTP? Judging versus evaluating, the purpose of speech contest, eligibility, characteristics of judges, the judges' code of ethics, the tie-breaking judge role and responsibility, the judges' palette, international speech contest, barriers to objectivity, obligation of judges, as well as some quizzes and case studies. Please understand, you will also be sent a link after the training wherein you have to successfully complete the quizzes. And a little birdie tells me most of the questions are derived from what you will learn in this training. So hold in your horses and let's get ready to make our club steady by first understanding why we need to have a judges training program. The first is obviously very important, enhance contest integrity. The second is master the art of objective evaluation. Third is enhancing analytical skills. The fourth is strengthening communication competence. The fifth is elevating your leadership profile. The sixth is developing yourself professionally and personally. And the seventh and the final would be to expand your network. Can any of you tell me, by unmuting yourself, how do you think a JTP can help in any of these? You can take any example. Anyone? Are they allowed to unmute themselves, Asankhya?
Yes. They
Okay, I think they are just spellbound by why JTP. So let me tell you my opinions about why we do JTP.
we have a
And
couple of raise your hand. Sorry to
okay, very good. So can you just
come in.
speak? Yes, yes. Go on, speak. Start speaking. Who will be the first one?
Yes, sir.
Akshat, right? From Inspiria, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. We met
Yes,
earlier.
Akshat. Yes, yes,
So could you
Akshat, tell me.
actually repeat the question once more so I could?
The question is this slide, why JTP, and some of the reasons behind the JTP is provided. Can you cite an example, Akshat,
Well,
as to
so
how it can expand your network or strengthen communication competence or help you master the art of objective evaluation?
well,
Akshat,
so
over to you.
okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir. Apologies for the mid-interruption. So for GTP or Judges Training Program, we must understand its importance, mainly because, see, we cannot let an inexperienced individual be on the post of a judge. In order to be a
Mm-hmm.
judge, we must know about the functions as well as the entire iceberg that's mainly present on what makes a judge, what kind of functions, what kind of responsibilities, and what kind of mechanics that they have to perform, due to which upon getting through the training as well as going through the rule books, they tend to, as it's given in the presentation over here, they elevate the leadership profile by showcasing their leadership skills. They can expand the network by also getting associated with other experienced judges from which they can
Very
take
good.
advice and mentorship. They can
Mm-hmm.
also develop themselves professionally and personally because it also leads to personality development at a larger scale. As
That's
well
right,
as
Akshat.
analytical skills are also important because if you have to judge someone and evaluate them, your analysis should be, your analytical skills should also be at a higher level because details will
Correct.
matter.
Absolutely. Very good. Thank you, Akshat. Can we have a round of applause, virtual as well as physical, for Akshat from Inspheria Knowledge Campus?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to add something to the conversation here?
Toastmaster Ayush from Siliguri Toastmasters Club also raised his hand.
Wonderful. Ayush, go on. Let's hear you.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and distinguished Toastmaster Sai and Pal.
Good
I
evening, Ayush Mittal, right? You're Ayush Mittal, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. I don't have much to add to what Akshat has already communicated, but I think the art of objective evaluation, where in you let loose of biases, we have a lot of inherent biases built within us in terms of what complexion people are, how they sound, how they look, and all of those biases, and to let go of those and objectively evaluate something and practice that while judging someone is what you'll be actively doing as a judge, and getting trained in that, I think is really phenomenal and will help you throughout your life whenever you come across any situation where you have to judge someone or when you're position to understand someone.
Very true. Very true. I think this definitely is a life skill, and I don't think I absolutely believe it. So thank you, both of you gentlemen from Siliguri, for giving us such wonderful examples. Come on, the rest of the district, wake up and realize how judging and evaluating is different. So judging is about selecting a winner, and evaluating is more about appraisal and advice. So if you really look at the various points mentioned in this very nicely done table, let's look at the aspect. So while the purpose of judging is to determine winners of a competition, the purpose of evaluation is to provide feedback for improvement. The objective of judging is to rank performance against one another. You're comparing. However, the objective of evaluation is to offer constructive suggestion. The focus of judging is to compare and to score, and the focus of evaluating is to support and to guide. The criteria used for judging is competition specific, the guidelines are given, and the criteria for evaluation is general Toastmasters principles, and also what is mentioned in pathways, if it is a pathway speech. The approach towards judging should be objective and impartial. The approach to evaluating should be subjective and supportive. So that's a very, very important distinction between the two. The skills needed for judging is that you have to be detail-oriented, criteria-based. Now for evaluating, you have to be analytical, empathetic, and communicative. So of course, communicative, you don't need to be for judging. But of course, all some of the other points may or may not be good. Analytical, yes, it really helps. But the rest of it, well, you just have to believe and do what you have. Thank you, Asankhya, for spotlighting my video. I very much appreciate your empathetic stance towards communicating with the rest of the people, how we can be a better judge, and for being so detail-oriented. Well, if you get a hint, he is the district chief judge after all. And an example of judging will be scoring speeches in a contest, and an example of evaluation would be giving feedback at a club meeting. So please remember, judges' decisions are confidential. And that brings me to a not so confidential purpose of speech contests. So the purpose of a speech contest is to provide an opportunity to practice competitive speaking, to provide interesting educational programs for members and the public, and to provide an opportunity to learn by observing proficient speakers. Now, can any of you tell me, isn't this something that anyway happens in a club meeting? How is it different? In a speech contest, why is a speech contest so different? How is it different? Anyone? Asankhya, do let me know if they've raised their hand so that I can make a difference. I think one of you were trying to speak. Please continue.
Toastmaster Mohit has raised his hand.
Good evening, sir. Distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Park.
Good evening, Mohit. I hope Inspiria is treating you well. Go on,
Yes, sir,
Mohit.
it is. It is. Sir, in a speech contest, like in a club level, we are only limited to the members who are in the club. But in a speech contest, we are exposed to the several speakers who are there in the district or division or area level, and
Okay.
we get to see them and just look at the quality and learn and observe by seeing them on the dais, and we get to learn from them so that we
Correct.
can improve in our
Correct.
later periods as well.
It's a very good
Thank you.
example. Now, what if you're judging at a club level? So it's the same people you know always, right? So how is that different? Think about it. Just push yourselves a little bit more. That was a very good answer, by the way. Anyone else? So the third point, provide an opportunity to learn by observing proficient speakers, or provide interesting educational programs for members and the public. So if you're judging at a club, isn't it the same people? So how does that happen? Anyone?
Can we bring in someone from another club to help in this?
Bhavna, that's a very good answer. However, when I'm talking about a speech contest, the contest is within the members of the club, right?
Okay.
So the contestants are members of the club. This is not like where you have other people speaking in a club. So how is that going to make a difference? I'm going to give a clue. Okay, so provide an opportunity to practice competitive speaking. Now, in a club also, we have best speaker, most improved speaker, correct? So how is a speech contest different? So how is a speech contest different? How is that not more, is it more competitive, less competitive?
So the speaker,
Garima, right? Yeah, Garima Agarwal, go on.
so the speakers are known to you, so you tend to be biased. You already know who's a good speaker, so you are already mentally into that mind frame that this person is going to
Okay.
be good, and there comes the bias thing about.
But Garima, it's the same thing, right? In your club, you're biased, and in a speech contest in your club, it's the same speakers, right? The speech contestants are not from outside the club.
Okay.
I know you're getting confused, so let me share it with you. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to ask questions because I'm going to provide empirical evidence and you have to understand and analyze what I'm saying to get a gist of things. So competitive speaking. So in a competition, the rules are the same for everyone. Would you agree? Correct? That's how a competition is, right? The rules are the same for everyone. In a club, it's not possible. So someone might deliver an icebreaker speech, someone might deliver an evaluation and feedback speech, someone might deliver some other speech. Are they all delivering the same speeches? No, they're not. And there is no competition criteria given to you. You're just going to evaluate them on certain. So it is competitive speaking when you're speaking in a speech contest. Number two, provide interesting educational programs for members and public. While we can always learn from speakers, if all of them are delivering a humorous speech, for instance, wouldn't you learn how to use humor more effectively in a speech? Think. If all of them are in an evaluation contest, would you not, by observing so many people at the same time, understand how to be a better evaluator? Think about it. So if all of them are delivering international speeches, would you not understand how to be more motivational, more persuasive, more inspirational, for instance? Yes. So you get to learn more because you see people doing similar things one after another, one after another, after another, because it's a contest. You will not have a contest where someone is speaking table topics, someone is delivering some speech, someone is making you laugh by telling a funny story. They're all doing the same thing. Third, Provide an opportunity to learn by observing proficient speakers. Now, am I not saying that the speakers in a club are proficient? Yes, they are. But here, as it keeps moving forward, as one of you mentioned, it gets more and more and more proficient. It's not like anyone will speak in a division level contest. The person who speaks at the division level has to first win in a club, then in an area, then represent a division. So the competitiveness increases, the proficiency of the speaker also increases. So these are the three main purposes of speech contests. And now eligibility. I believe Nirmika has already covered it. Nirmika, please correct me if I'm wrong. But some of the eligibility criteria for contestants for you to remember is as follows. Minimum 2 levels have to be completed. And another of you asked that I have just at level 1. What should you do? Well, as Nirmika suggested, you can either complete level 2 or I know some of you will love this and hate me for saying this, or just become a charter member of a new club. If you have money, you can do anything. Jokes apart, charter members of a club chartered within 1 year of contest is eligible to compete as a contestant in that club. So even if you are an existing member of some club, if you become a dual member and become a charter member of a new club, then you can compete in the club. So a new club like, say, Young India, Kolkata Toastmasters Club, Bhavna, this is for you. So all of you can compete in the international speech contest because you will all be charter members of the club and the club has opened within 1 year of the contest. Number 3, be a member in good standing of a club in good standing. Your club should have a payment of at least 8 people and you should be one of those 8 who has made the payment. This is for international speech contest. For all other contests, a member in good standing of a club in good standing is enough. Eligibility for judges, be a paid member of a club in good standing at the club level. Area, division, district, be a paid member for at least 6 months, complete at least 2 levels, or be a charter member and be physically present during the contest. Characteristics of judges: fairness, integrity, objectivity, attention to detail, knowledge, professionalism, discretion, communication, and that's it. Now, can anyone give me an example of this characteristic? How do you know someone is fair? What could be an example of fairness or integrity or objectivity or attention to detail or knowledge or professionalism or discretion or communication? Let's start by fairness. Would you want a judge to be unfair? No, right? That's very simple. What is integrity?
Honesty.
Very good. Mohammad Ziaur, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Perfect. So integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It's one of our core values. Only you know whether you have integrity or not. Correct? Now we will not go and know whether you have integrity. But will you be able to understand there is integrity? Yes, you will be. And I'll cover that at later time during the training. What is objectivity? Objectivity is you judging that speech, not the speaker, not how long the speaker took. The speaker might be disqualified on time. That's not what you do. You just judge the speech that day. It could be the world champion of public speaking, but is probably delivering a humorous speech which is not so funny. Judge that objectively. I think there is some questions on chat. Just give me a moment. Iftikhar says freedom from bias. Yes, absolutely, Iftikhar, freedom from bias. Attention to detail. What is an attention to detail? As an example, if someone using a prop, how are they using? Are they doing something that is new or different? Are they using the stage well? All the little details that make a speech interesting. Body language, voice modulation, all of it you have to attentively spot in detail. Now, what is knowledge? Why is knowledge important for a judge? What is the meaning of knowledge? Can anyone of you give an example? Knowledge? Anyone? Come on. As I drink some water.
So, hi, Azan. Hi, Ann. This is Saransh. So, when it comes to knowledge, if someone is, let's say, giving an informative speech, right? And if the content is taken from somewhere, right? So, we need to be aware that this content is copied or this content
Excellent.
has already been, covered somewhere, right?
Excellent,
So,
Saransh. Excellent, excellent. So see, as judges, to be able to understand whether something is original, you need to have enough knowledge. If you know nothing, then sorry to say, you will not be able to know if something is original or copied or whatever. Very good. Anything else?
So they should avoid plagiarism. So I guess the judge
Absolutely,
should
Bhavna.
spot if the content has been copied, and if they have copied, they should credit the author or the person whose content they've copied.
Very true. So you can take
Like
references,
mention
but
the
up to
name.
25, yes, up to 25% if you credit the source. So, maybe saying something like, instead of saying my grandfather once told me a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, unless, your grandfather is really, really old. It's William Shakespeare. In the words of Shakespeare, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So you have to know whether William Shakespeare said or Kangna Ranaut said that or someone else. Yeah. So the knowledge is important. Professionalism. What is an example of professionalism of a judge? Especially now when contests are going to be physical. That's a clue. Give me an example of someone not being professional or an example of someone being professional. How will you differentiate? Anyone?
The way somebody
Ramisa.
speaks to someone. Yes, hello.
Hi, Ramisa. Noshin. Should I call you Noshin or Ramisa?
I would say I judge professionalism by the way somebody speaks to another person, whether they speak to them with respect, whether they speak to them with that amount of, what's
But
the
to be
word?
very honest, does a judge go and speak to people? No, right? The judge is just sitting and judging. So how will you measure their professionalism?
Right.
Think. So characteristics of a judge, not a person. What is professionalism in a judge? Think. Very simple. Think.
I think so. It is the way they behave themselves, the way they carry themselves.
Very good. The way they carry themselves. Can some examples be given by you? Mr. Tamang, Jeet, right? That was Jeet Tamang.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, Jeet. So how do you know if the judge is professional, and how would you like to be a professional judge?
For
Clue, I'm
example,
doing
if
something.
being a judge, if you're acting like a kid in front of the speakers or in front of the role players, so you might not be a professional person. That is what I think.
Okay. Now let me give some examples. That's interesting, Jeet. So let's see what you do. You go, you're a judge. It's a physical contest, there's a ballot, and you're not carrying a pen. You're like, oh, can you please give me a pen? Is that professional? No. Correct? You know you're a judge. You know you're supposed to carry a pen. Shouldn't you carry a pen to mark a ballot? You should, right? Imagine that you're a judge. The contest is supposed to start at 7. You have arrived at 7:10. Is that professionalism?
No, sir.
No. No, right? Very good. So you don't have to be out of your way, wear great clothes, etc. Imagine the contest is going on and you're looking at your phone. Is that professionalism?
No, sir.
No.
Exactly. So aren't there simple things that we can check? We can. And the others are watching you, whether you're talking to people or you're doing something where you're hee hee ha ha, chit-chatting during the contest. During 1 minute silence, are you disturbing someone? You can see all of that in people, can't you? So professionalism is measured by what you're supposed to do and whether there is any dereliction of duty, whether you're prepared or you're not prepared or whatever. Now, characteristics of judges also has discretion and communication. What is the meaning of discretion?
Hi, Toastmaster Sayan. I wanted to add something to the last
Yes,
point.
Nidhi. Of course, Nidhi. Go on. Yeah.
I feel that it is very important for a judge to be professional because to maintain, the trust and the credibility, and
Very true.
to keep the professional ethics.
Absolutely, Nidhi. It is very important. So what we are talking about now is the various ways by which you appear professional and unprofessional. Okay, so very well said. So Nidhi is right. I think all of you are right in your own ways. Now let's look at discretion and communication. What is the meaning of discretion?
Students and experience.
Mohammad Zayur, I'm not sure I understand you correctly. Experience. Okay, discretion. Discretion comes from the word discreet, which means to keep things secret. That's a clue. What is the meaning of discretion?
In your own right, Toastmaster Aditya
Aditya.
Manikar.
Yes, I know Aditya. I know you know that voice. Aditya. So explain what is discretion?
So discretion is something which is in your own responsibility area. To be precise, like you are responsible for something, it is your own responsibility. And then you are taking action or your decisions in line with that accountability, which is already predefined.
Okay, okay. I think that's an interesting observation. I believe Garima was also trying to speak. Garima, would you like to add something here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It is like you cannot be revealing confidential information regarding if you have
Exactly.
discretion.
You have to be discreet. Say, for example, and of course, all of you are right in your own ways, discreet. Say, for example, if you're a judge, you're like, hey, hello, it's so nice to meet your club as a judge. I once know this one person who was invited to share his experiences. At the end of the meeting, he went and told everyone, it was wonderful to be a judge at today's contest. Please don't. You're supposed to be discreet about being a judge. You're not supposed to draw attention to yourself. You're not supposed to take out a pen and you're like and take a ballot out and start copying. You have to be very discreet so that people do not know for sure that you're a judge. They might assume that you're a judge. They may guess you're a judge, but they should not know for sure that you're a judge. So be discreet. Last is communication. Why is communication a very important characteristic of a judge? How are the judges communicating?
DTM and Paul, can I answer this question?
Absolutely, Asan. Go on, Asan.
Okay. So I feel that communication between the judges should be first communicating with the chief judge, understanding what the chief judge is meaning, especially with the briefing, and after that, in the process when the results are going to be declared, we should be communicating again for the marks.
Yeah, that's one part, Asan, definitely. But that's not the answer I'm looking at. Something very important that none of us paid attention to. Communication cannot happen without this element. And that is a characteristic of a judge, a very important characteristic. If a person doesn't have this skill, they cannot be a judge. Communication. What am I talking about?
Is it listening? Listening?
Yes, it is listening. Can there be any communication without listening? Think. It's in one-sided, right? It can't be. So judge has to have listening skills. So who do they should need to listen to? Can anyone tell me?
Contestants.
The contestants
Yeah.
of
No, that's not right. They have to listen to everyone. Say, for example, if you're in a humorous speech contest, should you not listen how much people are laughing or not laughing? Think. If you are in an international speech contest, I'm giving an example. If you're in an international speech contest and someone is speaking and no one is responding, is it good or bad?
Bad.
Okay. Now, what if the person is saying something which is so profound and everyone is pin drop silence? They're like, wow. And then after he finishes, everyone bursts into applause. Is it good or bad? It's good. Silence is also a strength of exceptional speech. Even silence, if it's pin drop silence, everyone is like glued to the person. That is also excellent. So communication, in fact, the biggest assumption about communication is the assumption that communication has occurred, which doesn't occur. So characteristic of a judge is communication skills, the ability to listen with your ears and with your eyes. You have to also understand that you cannot communicate. You have to just be like this. You cannot give it away. You cannot explain like, ha, 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 ha. Oh my God, yes, you're winner. No, like, yes, very good. You cannot over communicate. You have to restrain. You cannot tell people and communicate after the contest is over. Oh, that was such a good speech. You could have just done this, that. No, nothing. So that is also a characteristic of a judge. I hope it's clear so far, everyone. Are we good to go forward? It's a very important slide, okay? All right. Thank you. I hope this is helping. You're all understanding what's there.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just going to check the chat. I think there's some responses. And all of that is happening. Very good. So this is a little stuck. So let's go to the Judges Code of Ethics. Now, this is something we all need to do. together. So what the best way to do that is for you to take a minute and read this and let me know if you do not understand. So take a few minutes and read what is on the screen. This is the Judges Code of Ethics. When you sign on a document, you have to ensure that these are followed. Judges will demonstrate the utmost objectivity. Judges will consciously avoid bias of any kind in selecting first, second, and third place contestants. Judges will not consider any contestant's club, area, division, district, or region affiliation. Judges will not consider any contestant's age, sex, race, creed, national origin, disability, profession, or political beliefs. Judges will not time the speeches and will not consider the possibility of undertime or overtime when judging a contestant's speech. Judges will support by word and deed the contest rules and judging standards, refrain from public criticism of the contest, and only reveal participation as a judge, selected scores, and the ranking assigned in accordance with speech contest rulebook. Judges will not be a member of the same club as any contestant when judging at the division, district, region, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final levels. And judges will have no conflict of interest with any of the contestants that could cause bias. Does it make sense? Everyone? Yeah. Just a point about the second last point, Asankhya, you might want to take note. They cannot be from the same club at other levels also, as per this year, unless I'm mistaken. Asankhya? District Chief Judge? If possible, please don't be a judge in the club also at the area level as well. So these are things you have to keep in mind. Asankhya, let's just be a little wary of the second last point. All right. Thank you. Now, what is a conflict of interest? Can anyone tell me?
For example, I'm judge and my spouse or sibling is also one of the contestants. So though we are not a part of the same club, the same area, but still I think I'll have this conflict of interest.
Absolutely. You may be the fairest of person, but no. You should definitely not be a judge if one of your relatives, for lack of a better word, is participating. What else? That was very good, Aditya. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other example of conflict of interest?
Being a
Yes,
biased
Nehal.
sorry,
Go
it's
on.
me. It could be a
Nehal, sorry.
biased decision towards the member of the same club because he or she may be a friend or a acquaintance of yours.
Okay. Acquaintance, definitely not. Friend, also definitely not. Like, you know, if going by that logic, if I'm in a contest, none of you should judge because you all know me. Friend, is friend a conflict of interest, do you think? Answer is no, it's not. You can be friends with anyone. That doesn't stop you from judging. Think a little bit more. Anything else that might cause a bias or conflict of interest? The answer is if you're in a relationship with someone, if you're dating someone, you're not married yet, no. If you were dating someone and that person is your ex, please do not become a judge. Please, I beg of you. I don't need to know, but do not become a judge because we have unresolved issues there. Sometimes if you feel you being a mentor will make you have a bias, don't become a judge. I know mentors, actually you can be judge, of course, but if you feel you cannot be, you're overwhelmed, maybe you'll be too strict, don't be a judge. So this is up to you to determine in the judges code of ethics. Now for a tie-breaking judge, what is the difference between a judge and a tie-breaking judge? First of all, does anyone know?
Yes. Can I speak?
Absolutely,
Distinguished
Ayush.
Toastmaster.
Thank
Yes.
you. Go
So
on, Ayush.
tie-breaking judge. Okay. Tie-breaking judge is used when the results are actually tied. So then the sequence in which the tie-breaking judge has marked the ballot will be used to determine between the two ties.
Correct.
And
Absolutely right.
tie-breaking judge is only used when there's a tie, otherwise no use. And it is discreet. No one knows about him except the chief judge.
That's very right. Thank you so much, Ayush. So tie-breaking judge is supposed to What is that person supposed to do? The tie-breaking judge, unlike the judge who has to only give first, second, third, has to rank all the contestants, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, nine, whatever. Okay. Tie-breaking judge is known only to the chief judge, as Ayush has rightfully said. The tie-breaking judge sends ballot only to the chief judge. So ballot counters or tally counters can collect from other judges, but not from tie-breaking judge. Do you know why? Why can't they collect from tie-breaking judge, the ballot counter? If they can collect from all the other judges, why can't they collect from the tie-breaking judge?
Because no
They
one
don't
knows
know who is
except
the.
chief judge.
Exactly, no one knows, right? Tie-breaking judge doesn't participate in a protest. But that's wrong, right? You're a tie-breaking judge, you put in so much of effort. Why do you not participate in a protest? Tell me.
Then everybody will come to know that you are a.
How can everyone know? Protest is only limited to some judges and chief judge. No, they meet in secret, right? Seema? That was Seema, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So if I may answer, because
Smriti.
yes, sir, because tie-breaking judges are those judges who determine the winners.
All
They
judges determine winners. They give the first, second, third.
they are not the ones who can participate in the protest because their final voting or their final judgment determines the winners.
Okay, I think so that there is a misunderstanding. So what happens is when the judging happens, the tie-breaking judge, all of them give the judging ballots together. If there is a tie, then the ballot is used. But the judging happens in parallel. All the judges and tie-breaking judges, they judge in parallel. So if the judges in secret meet for a protest, right, with the chief judge, why isn't the tie-breaking judge included in that protest?
Because there is not a tie.
I'm sorry?
And unless there is a tie, the tie-breaking judge can't come in.
No, the tie-breaking judge is there from before the contest. If you can't suddenly say, oh, there is a tie, let's have a tie-breaking judge. Now you would go, take a time machine, go back to the contest, now judge the contest, break the tie. Can you do that? No, right? So tie-breaking judge was there from the very beginning. Correct. So if all the judges are protesting, there is some protest, right? Maybe originality or whatever, then why is the tie-breaking judge not taking part in that protest?
May I answer that,
Saransh. Abha knows. No, Abha, I don't. This is wrong. Oh God. Okay, Abha, go on. This is like syllabus is being leaked. Go on.
Because the job of the tie-breaking judge is just to break the tie, not to get involved in any other.
That's a very smart answer, but the answer is right in front of our eyes. The answer is no one knows the tie-breaking judge and no one can know the tie-breaking judge. So if you take part in a protest, yes, but you did not say it for sure. You have to say, no, this is the answer. Seema, हो गया, चला गया, doubt डाल दो तो सब भूल जाएंगे. No. You're not supposed, see, you had the thought, but then I confused you, I got confused. So you cannot ever have the tie-breaking judge in a protest, because the moment the tie-breaking judge will appear in the protest, would the other judges not get to know who the tie-breaking judge is? Yes. Even the judges don't know who the tie-breaking judge is. And of course, the tie-breaking judge, this person perspective is to just break the tie, not to get someone disqualified, because jo bhi hai disqualify bhi hoga to usko, he has already listed the ranking. No, if someone is disqualified also, whatever, you don't know, the tie-breaking judge doesn't know, so they will anyway give the ranking. The person's job is done. Correct? Are you understanding the difference? The person's job is to rank the speakers, not to choose the first three winners. That's the difference. Are we all clear on this? Finally, the tie-breaking judge ballot will be used in case of a tie for any place. Even if there is a tie between 7th and 8th position, the tie-breaking judge's ballot has to be used. You cannot have any tie in the final result. If there is a tie between two people, between first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, whatever, you have to use the tie-breaking judge's ballot to break the tie. That's the rule. I hope it is all clear. Does anyone have any questions at this point in time? No questions, I'm hoping. All right. Mastering the scorecard, unveiling the judging criteria. This is what we have to do. It's time for the big reveal. And we cannot see what's here. So I'm going to tell you that this is the judging ballot. The International Speech Contest is the ballot which we will look at. And I will give you the details very soon. But first, the guide, the other side of the ballot will allow you to take notes, use suggested points, use other point values, have pluses and minuses, and many other things. So let's now look at the criteria: content, delivery, language. So content is for how many points?
50.
Anyone?
50.
Absolutely, content is 50. Delivery is how many points?
30.
Correct. And language is 20.
20.
And you can have a maximum of how many points?
100.
100, yes. 100, yes. You can never have 100, by the way, in a real situation. No one will give you. But you never know. So let's look at content. Okay, let's start off with the most important thing. Content has multiple elements: development, effectiveness, and value. Speech development, structure, organization, and support material. What is the difference between structure and organization? Can anyone tell me? What is the meaning of structure in a speech?
I think the layout that you have an introduction, then the main body, then a conclusion, then something to tie the whole speech together and bring it to a
Absolutely.
conclusion.
Absolutely, Bhavna. Introduction, body, conclusion is the structure. There is a very definite introduction, body, and conclusion. Just like a meeting has a structure, there is prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation. It's a structure, right? The meeting is structured. It's a structured meeting. It's not like, hey, let's do whatever. No. So you have a structure. Now, what is organization? If structure is introduction, body, conclusion, then what is organization?
Organization is more of where you have placed what content.
Okay.
Rather
Can you give an
than,
example, Nosheen?
Yes. For example, if you start your story in the body or without giving a prequel, that could be a little confusing for somebody to get.
Okay, interesting.
If
Go
you
on.
give your introduction.
Or maybe what we can add over here is whether you have to organize your speech in a specific manner. I mean, you have to introduce what you're going to give speech about. Then body, I mean, how you are going to convince maybe with a personal story or a real incident and all. And what you want to convey through your speech should be part of conclusion.
Okay, Nidhi, right? Okay. How many of you have seen the movie Gupt? Is there anyone who has not seen the movie Gupt?
I have seen it.
Yeah. So if I start the movie Gupt with the final scene as to who is the killer, will you watch the movie?
Of course, no.
You
Of
wouldn't,
course
unless
not.
you're psycho or whatever. I don't know. You wouldn't. Why will you see the ending first and then the movie? So that's a clue. What is organization? Think. Okay. How do you organize things at your home? Do you organize your cupboard? You do. You organize your books on the table, correct? You organize your life. What is the meaning of organization?
Where to put what subject matter, like how to, supposing it's an introduction, so how, if you have 5 things to say, the serial order of putting it, so it's in
Okay, very good. So
one thing
Bhavna's
leads
got
to
it.
another, so you
One thing leads to another. Yes. So what you do in a speech is see if the ideas are organized in a smooth manner. So for example, you're saying one of the most important things that I've done in my life is joined Toastmasters. It was the year 2008 when I first got to know about Toastmasters. I did not pay much attention, and then I decided that one day I'm going to go to a meeting. And I went to a meeting in the year 2010, and I was absolutely dumbstruck. What exactly is going on? And so on and so forth. And today I am now delivering a workshop about Toastmasters. How beautiful life is, right? This is one way of organizing, which is called sequential organizing. This is another way of organizing. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am a 4-time distinguished Toastmaster, someone who is delivering workshops. But do you know, there was this one point in time, I could not even speak in front of 5 people. Let me take you back 14 years to the year 2008, when I did not know anything about Toastmasters. What is this organization style? It's back and forth. And then I again come back, again go back, here, there, flashback. This is also an organization style. There could be the third organization style in which you tell something, go back, say something, go back. What you're supposed to see is whether the thoughts are well organized. Or I'm saying, today I'm delivering a workshop on Toastmasters, but I was not always like this. 7 years back, I became the district champion of impromptu speaking. It was a very, very difficult day for me, and I somehow became the district champion of impromptu speaking. But wait, that is not something that happened overnight. I think in the year 2010, I first went to a Toastmasters meeting, and I participated in impromptu speaking, and it felt very good. And see, today I'm delivering a workshop. I'm teaching you how to judge. But you know, it was here in the year 2008, I think, when someone first told me about Toastmasters. So what is this style? Confusing? Are you getting confused? Going here, going there, now 2010, now 2008. Tell me, are you getting confused? You are, right? Probably.
Yes.
You are. So you have to understand what organization you have. You can start, go back, again come here, again go back, again come here. It has to be done in a sequential order. Have you not seen movies where people go back, there are flashback, again it comes back? There are movies like that. There are speeches like that. There are screenplays like that. Organization is how well the ideas are organized. You cannot go and reveal the ending and then say, oh, do something. No, you have to slowly come to that ending. So you have to look at whether the speech is organized appropriately or not. The third is support material. What is the meaning of support material? And believe me, contestants, if you do not understand this, you're gone. A lot of times people say, oh, it was such a good speech. Why did it not win? It did not win due to support material. What is support material? Can anyone tell me?
Props.
Props. Hand
Very good.
gestures.
Props. So people think props are support material, but props are not the only support material. What could be other examples of support material?
Gestures.
Vocal
No,
variety.
gesture cannot be a support material because gesture is anyways given points separately. What else can be a support material?
If we are telling any fact, so that fact has to be vetted by the, I'll say, authorized sources as such. Like, it
Exactly.
should be
Very good,
authentic.
Aditya. It could be some reference, okay? Say, for example, 68% of women in India currently are unemployed. I can say any rubbish. How do I know? It could be not right? If I say, as per the World Economic Forum, a study that was published in 2006 states that 68% of rural women in India are unemployed. Which one is a better example of a support material? Tell me. First one or the second one? Second one?
The second one,
The
yes.
second one. I'm citing the source. What could be another example of a support material? Think, and tell me. A quotation can be a support material. In the
But
words
you
of
have
Khalin.
Yes, sorry.
Yes, Nausheen, tell me.
Yes, but you have to imply who gave, like, who said
Yeah,
that quote.
you just said, no, I said, no, as per World Economic Forum, this study published. Otherwise, how will you say anything? You can say something, but where is your source, right? So that is an excellent example of a support material. When you quote your sources and have that, support material is not just prop, physical prop. It could be a prop in your speech that you're talking about. So you have to understand whether or not the person is using support material. Quotations are also support material if used effectively. If it's a perfect quotation that sums up that, it's a beautiful support material. So please do not consider support materials only to be props. It can be other things as well. Clothes can be support material. Now tell me, if I'm delivering a speech about poverty wearing a 3-piece suit, is it good or bad?
It's not
Bad.
relatable.
Yeah, it might be bad. Now, if I'm telling the reason for poverty in the world is the rich accounts for the top 1% richest has 50% of the world's wealth. And it is unequal wealth distribution that is the need for poverty. Then will it make more sense if I'm wearing a three-piece suit? Maybe. If I'm delivering a speech about really poor people and I come wearing very ordinary clothes, will it make more sense? Yes. In fact, one of our best examples of support material is Aaron Beverly. He was delivering a speech about an Indian wedding wearing a sherwani. Would you ever, if this speech was some normal speech, would anyone wear a sherwani and go and deliver a speech? He became the world champion with that speech. So please understand, your clothes are also your support material. If you're delivering a speech about childhood, wearing a three-piece suit, God save you. So please understand, how you use your clothes, are you referencing to them, is a support material. How you dress up can be a support material. How you use props can be support material. Whether the props are being seen or unseen, how they are coming into the screen, etc., can also be support material. So all of it is like 5, 5, 5, and together will give you 15 points. Are we clear about speech development, everyone? I hope so.
Can photographs be shown during the speech on our mobile phone?
Yes, if
Like,
they
are we
can
allowed
see.
to do that?
Yeah, you are allowed. See, I'll tell you that. So whatever support material you have in advance, like a prop, you have to first inform the contest chair in advance, and then you can use it as a support material in a contest. Okay. So maybe you have this, maybe your story is about something that happened to you and something to do with a mobile phone, and you take the mobile phone and you say, and this is the photo I got. Can you believe this? How can someone send this to a woman at 11 at night? You know, something like that. Then it becomes a support material. Okay. So use your support materials effectively and intelligently. Next is effectiveness. Clear purpose, achievement of purpose, and relevance. What is the meaning of purpose? What is the purpose of a international speech? Can anyone tell me?
Get your point across.
They have a message.
Okay, Garima says to have a message. Ramisa, I believe, says to get your point across. Okay. Get your point across to get a message. Okay. Any other example?
I think the
Audience can
language.
relate to your speech.
Sandhya, I think too many people are speaking. Let's hear Sandhya first. Yes, Sandhya.
Audience can relate to your speech.
So the purpose is to have a relatable speech. Is that the purpose of an international speech contest? Or is it to have a
Any
message?
speech. Yes, message, and audience should have something to take away with them.
So message. What's in it for me? Okay. What else?
Like if there is a humorous speech contest, then
No, international
purpose
speech contest. Okay. We are only looking at the ballot of international speech contest now, Seema. So tell me, what is the purpose of an international speech?
maybe informative.
I think someone is singing. Asankhya, help me out here. I think someone is singing and I'm not able to understand who. Yeah, go on. Seema, you're speaking. Seema, go on.
Actually, I thought the purpose, whatever it can be informative or some knowledge which can be acquired through that speech, so that the purpose is solved.
Breaking news. An international speech can have any purpose. It can be to motivate. It can be to persuade. It can be to inform. It can be to entertain. It can be anything. You have to understand whether that person's purpose is clear. By hearing the speech, do you understand what the purpose is? And then, was the purpose achieved? If the purpose was to make you laugh, did you laugh? If the purpose was to tell a story, were you hooked onto the story? If the purpose was to persuade you to do something, do you feel more persuaded? If the purpose was to inspire, are you feeling more inspired? If the purpose was to motivate, are you feeling more motivated? It's very simple. What is the purpose as per you? And has the purpose been achieved as per you? And the second part is relevance. What is the meaning of relevance?
Is it how
Correct
relevant your
information.
speech is to your audience?
You are the judge. How do you know what the audience is thinking, Nehal? Think. As a judge, you have to decide, right? Is it relevant or not? So it is your opinion. So what is the meaning of relevance? Think.
Is it relevant to the topic of this speech?
Yeah, maybe. Very good, Asan. Is it relevant to the topic? The topic is smoking is dangerous for health. And the person is talking about how the tobacco ITC is the best company in India. Is it relevant? No. But even otherwise, is it relevant to you? Is it relevant to you? Is he speaking on a topic that you're not at all interested in? How will you judge speeches? It's up to you. No, you have been called on to the judge as your own individual person. Say, I'm just giving an example which many of you will probably not like. Okay, but please listen to me carefully. If you're a man, you're a like 19-year-old bachelor student. Okay, someone is drawing on the on the presentation. So Asankhya, if you can just remove the wriggles. So if you're a 19-year-old student and the person is talking about a divorce, okay, maybe for you it is not relevant. You're not able to connect with the speech. Has it happened? Maybe it's not relevant to you. So maybe the person is talking about a very complicated rocket launch or something, and you're not understanding. It is not relevant to you. So you will mark them down. You have like 3 to 4 marks to give for purpose, achievement of purpose, and relevance. Maybe you're not interested. Maybe you've heard those speeches a lot of times. They're like, once again, they are telling us quit smoking. This is so normal. I am not so interested. So is it still relevant? If someone delivers a speech about the importance of wearing masks outside, is it relevant right now when COVID is not going on? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. If the person talks about the importance of wearing a mask in a hospital, is it more relevant? Probably yes. So is it relevant to you? You have to understand what is the situation. Why this? Why me? Why now? The why now part becomes important. Maybe it's if the person is talking about wearing a mask and giving a traumatic incident where someone he was very close to or she was very close to died or passed away, was hospitalized because the mask was not worn. Is it relevant? Yes, it is. Otherwise, maybe it is not. Do you understand the difference? Do you? I hope so. The next part of content is speech value, ideas, logic, and original thought. What is the meaning of an idea or logic or original thought? How do you understand? What is original thought? We all know originality. Is it copied? Is it natural? Now, please understand. I'm going to take some examples of films, okay? So we have seen Shakespeare's films, right? I mean, not films, plays. We are aware of Shakespeare's plays. We are aware of Macbeth. We are aware of Hamlet, correct? You know these plays? Romeo and Juliet, okay? So when Vishal Bharadwaj adapts Hamlet into Heather or Othello into Umkara, for instance, is it original or is it not?
It is not original.
It is
adapted.
absolutely original. It is an adapted screenplay. In fact, there is an Oscar given for best adapted screenplay. Is it not given? Why will someone give an Oscar if it is not original? It is how originally, how differently it is done. So that was William Shakespeare in England. They had Hyder in Kashmir. It was about the Kashmir issue. Everything was very different. So you have to look at whether, like today, someone is talking about, like currently we are like, if someone is delivering a speech today and talking about the unfortunate incident that happened in Kolkata with a medical student and comparing it with what happened to Draupadi in Mahabharata, is it original? Maybe it is. It's an interpretation. How original the interpretation is what determines. During that day, when Draupadi was insulted in a room filled with people, the ones in authority did nothing. Today, again, we see the same kind of despair. The people protested, but the ones in authority are not doing enough. Maybe it's an original comparison. It's not for me. It's for you to guess. Is it an adaptation? Any story you take, it's adapted from some of the models we have learned earlier. Like slow and steady wins the race or whatever. So any story you deliver, any speech you deliver, it will have one of the 7 plot points in the world. Every story, every speech is one of 7 stories. There's just 7 plot points. So how you're telling that story, how you're narrating the story, how original is your interpretation decides the original thought. You might not have a completely original idea. And it's very difficult. You tell me any speech. It's not an, it's the same speech. Say, give me an example of a world champion public speaking speech that you really like. Have you heard Dhananjay's speech? I see something in you. I don't know what it is. How many of you have heard that speech? Yeah. So what is the actual message of the speech? Can anyone tell me? What is the message of that speech?
We have a raise of hand from Ayush.
Sorry, Ayush, go on. What is the message of that speech?
Hi. Yeah. So the speech basically had a clear message that in life you always you can always fall down, but when you have friends around you and people to support you, they pick you back up, and you can rebuild from the ground up.
Oh my
And you have
God, Ayush, that's amazing. My God, I've never seen anything like this. I've never read a book like this. I've never seen a movie like this. Have you not seen hundreds of films and movies with this message?
right. It's
You
true.
have. Then is it not original? It is original because of the way the story is told. It is his story. You know, when the mother was crying when she was outside the jail, it changed him. The way he used the petals and dropped it, and he took it out and say that, whatever. So the dialogues you had, put all the mothers together. How many of you have a mother? Put all the mothers together and you get my mother, like that. So original thought is not some unique thing that you've never heard. It is how uniquely it is being told, how uniquely it is coming across. If you think it's the same thing, you've heard some stand-up comedian do that, etc., it's not original. Do we understand this or do we not understand this? We do. It's interpretation, okay? It could also be an adapted screenplay, does not have to be an original screenplay. So ideas, logic, and original thought. Do we understand ideas and logic? What is the difference between idea and logic? It's a very unique idea, very interpretation idea. That's what a TED Talk is like, right? TED Talks are very unique ideas. Or logic. Is there any logic in what he's saying? Or you find it illogical? You have to see whether the speech has logic. If I talk about Harry Potter, okay, flying on a broomstick, is it logical? How many of you have seen or read Harry Potter? Any
It
of the
is
books?
logical when it is related with
Yeah, it is.
magic.
How you say it.
Interpret, yes.
How you
Yeah.
interpret, okay? So for example,
Yeah.
I'll take another example which will make it relevant. Dementors. Dementors is in the book and in the film, which is a direct symbolism of depression. So J.K. Rowling faced depression and she came up with that. So her interpretation of Dementors is nothing but the depression she felt. And if you talk about Harry Potter, you say that, Harry Potter had a magic wand. And he said, Axio wand. And the wand came into his hand and he was able to fly like that. To help yourself fly in life, what is your magic word? For me, that magic word is I believe in myself. And I remind myself that I believe in myself, and it makes me fly. It makes my confidence fly. And I feel like I'm going to the top of the world. Is it now logical? It is, because I'm comparing it with a fantasy, but I'm giving an example that relates to it. So you have to understand whether there is the ideas, logic, and original thought add value to the speech. Of course, you will get it. We are not fools. We understand which speech has more value, more than less, right? Speeches that are unique have more value. Speeches which are sending a very strong message have more value. Speeches that entertain you probably have more value. So all of these are examples of speech value. How new, how different, how inspiring it is. Maybe all of these points are important towards speech value. So that's 50%. Congratulations, half the job is done. And now it's time for delivery. Physical, voice, manner. So physical, appearance, body language, and speaking area. How do you measure the speaking area in a virtual contest? We will have one virtual contest as well. But because our international speech contest is going to be physical, I'm going to ask you, how will you determine the physical part? How will you determine the speaking area? Can anyone tell me?
The podium.
Use of the stage.
Use of stage, use of podium, yes. What else?
Your body language.
Speaking area, not the other part. First, speaking area.
Camera,
If someone is
yeah.
using the entire stage, going from one part to another part, is it good?
No, it should be relevant with your timeline or some criteria.
Okay, now let me give another
should be
example.
logical.
If the person is going from the left side of the speech to the right side, going like this, again turning back and going like that, again going like this, turning back and going like that, is it good use of speaking area?
No.
Okay, now if the person is saying this while doing this, in life, a lot of times we have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. You go do something, you wake up in the morning, get dressed up, go to office, finish office, again come back home. Again, next day, wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, go to office, finish office, come back home. While doing this, is going back and forth. Is it relevant?
And then it is relevant.
Correct.
Yes.
It is how it is. He's using it to tell the story. Okay. Or if the person is going back and say, and then I slowly went back. Or if the person is using parts of the speech to talk about certain part, like a part of the stage to talk about childhood, a part of the stage to talk about adolescence, a part of the stage to talk about old age, maybe, or three stages in his life, in or her life, very relevant speaking area usage. If the person is moving forward to make an impact or going back to show that you're going back and you're taking a step back, very relevant. So how has speaking area been used is very important. Now, what is the difference between appearance and body language? Do you all know body language? What is body
Yes.
language?
Body language is like expressing your speech, coordinating with your hand movements or some
Okay, Seema, very
other
good, very good.
movements.
Seema, I loved the example you gave. Amazing. It's superb and thumbs up. 2 thumbs up to that. Is this good body language? Of course,
Too
I'm
much.
using too much. How much is too much? Now, this is not a sign language. I love what you're saying. Thumbs up, thumbs up. No, it's not like we are dancing or doing some Bharatanatyam, unless
Yes,
you have
yes.
to do that, right? If you're enacting a character which does that, you have to know how much is too much. Is it enough or is it too much? You have to understand the difference.
Yes.
Any other example of body language?
Shrugging your shoulders, opening your hands for like welcoming sort of a thing.
These are just examples. But what is this? This is something we forget. What is this?
Expressions on the face.
Expression.
Facial
Very important.
expressions. Yeah,
Which
facial
is nothing but
expressions. Yes.
appearance. Yeah, how do you appear? Like, okay, look at my expressions.
Wow.
What is changing? Expressions are changing. So am I confident? Like, am I talking about a situation like, look at this, okay? Okay, this is going to be a little, are you able to see me properly? Everyone? Yeah?
Yes.
Focus on
Yes.
only the
Yes, we can.
expressions. And you know, when he told me this, my heart was broken. I was like, this cannot be happening. How can you do this to me? How can you take my job away from me? What will I go and tell my wife and kids? Okay, this is one way of doing it. He suddenly told me that I did not have a job. And I was, how can you do this to me? What will I tell my wife and kids? What will I tell them when I go back home? That I don't have a job? I did not know how to react at that situation. But my heart was broken. I did not know what to do. Are you able to understand what I'm feeling?
Yes.
Yes. What is
Yes.
changing?
Expression.
I appear, yes, my expressions are
changing.
changing. I appear to be aligned and congruent to what I'm saying. Correct? Do you agree? Expressions. So if I'm like sharing a joke and I'm very uncomfortable, when men and women get married and babies happen and whatever, whatever, like we all know, right? I mean, come on. Am I appearing a little unperturbed, uncomfortable talking about it?
Yes.
Yes. If I'm doing it as a humor, it's probably very good. So my dad asked me, my son, what did you learn in biology today? And I was like, Dad, today the topic was about, that storks don't bring babies. I mean, they taught us that. You understand. Of course, you're my dad. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm playing a character who's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is it better? So whether you are uncomfortable as a speaker or the character is uncomfortable is what you have to determine. So all of these together is physical. It is 10 points, but these 10 points are very make or break. You cannot just give everyone 9, 10 like that. See the entire thing. Someone will be exceptional. Give them full 10 points, but if others are not so good, there has to be a difference, isn't it? Don't give them 1. Look at the point table, 10 on 10. Very good is 7 to 9. Good is 4 to 6 and fair is 0 to 3. So mark as per the points suggested. The next part is voice, flexibility and volume. So what is volume? Can anyone tell me what is volume?
Modulation of voice.
I know,
The
but first
pitch of
let's talk
voice.
about volume. Yeah, let's
It
talk
should
about
be
volume
audible,
first.
audible
I
and
mean, you can increase the volume of your laptops, right? I mean, who's stopping you? So what is volume?
Intensity of the sound.
If you can't hear the person, how will you judge the person? So in real life, you cannot say, okay, volume, volume. In a virtual, you might still be able to use the volume. However, some people feel that they have to speak as if this is the end of the world and they have to speak till everyone in the next room is able to hear them. Please don't save us. So the volume should be reflective of the strength of the room. You cannot be too loud, you cannot be too less. You have to understand if volume is being used effectively. That's one way of using volume. What is another way of using volume? To denote something. Can anyone tell me? One way of using volume.
An exclamation.
Shashank says an exclamation. Okay, so what does that mean? How can volume show an exclamation? You're very close, Shashank. Think a little bit more.
So basically, just to bring that wow factor, or to just take the audience to a different plane, have that change in volume, or that
Okay, no, you're
increase
very
of
close. You're very close, but not quite. So when is someone's volume low? And when is someone's volume high?
when someone is very feeling low in his speech, or he want to show that he is not
Exactly,
happy.
when he wants to show. So you cannot speak in the same volume when you're showing emotional vulnerability, right? So for example, and I realized that I did not have a job. I was going to go home and tell them that, you know what? I don't know what will happen because I no longer have a job. I have been laid off. This could be one way of saying. Imagine saying this. And you know what? I had to go home and tell people I did not have a job. I don't have a job. I have been laid off. This is another way of saying. The third way of saying. And I can't believe this, that this company for which I did so much today is now going to force me to go home and tell people, my own family, that I do not have a job. What is changing? The volume is changing, but the volume is changing to denote something. Third one, denote anger. Second one, it's the same. First one, to denote that you're feeling low. So is the volume a reflection of the emotions or not, is what you have to check. That is important. And is the volume loud and clear? Is the person speaking in a way that is loud and clear? And what is flexibility?
Vocal variety.
Vocal variety. Flexibility is the ability to speak in a high tone and in a baritone, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when you're very excited, what do you speak? You know what? I'm so excited. I'm delivering this judges training program and people are asking me amazing questions. Or, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm delivering this judges training program and people are asking me so many questions. Oh my God, this is amazing. They love me. What is the difference? Is the rate of speech changing? To denote what? Excitement, right? So flexibility is how you use your voice to make a point, high pitch, low pitch, baritone, all of that has a reason. Are you doing it just for the sake of it? Just saying, I feel today is a very important day to speak in a contest. La, la, la. No, that should not be the way. It should be for a reason. Third is directness, assurance, and enthusiasm, which is also something I've covered separately. But directness, are you speaking on a topic or going around in circles? So you know what, Dad? Today they talked to us about human reproduction, and I got very uncomfortable. That's a direct way of speaking it. Assurance. Are you assured of what they are saying? What you're saying, and enthusiasm. Are you enthusiastic in the right way? You know what? My mother-in-law passed away. Unless you're the one who's killed your mother-in-law and you've divorced your wife, why should you be even happy about it, right? I mean, come on, don't be a fool. So enthusiasm in the right places, directness where it's needed, and assurance. Are you going around in circles, or are you delivering it in a way by which you're directly talking about what you feel, and all of it is being reflected? So everyone understands body language and voice modulation, but the manner in which it is displayed determines whether or not you get 30 on 30 for delivery. Is it clear? This part is clear. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, this is clear.
Thank you, Asan. Thank you so much. And finally, we have the last 20. What is that? Language. Appropriateness, correctness. So appropriateness to speech, purpose, and audience. What is the meaning of that? Okay, I'll just give an example. You know, sometimes I just feel that the world is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and we could do better when it comes to hiding our insecurities and making the world a better place. But we are so petty-minded that we have absolutely foregone the ability to come to a conclusion about what should be nuanced and what should not be. Alas, it's a sad day for humanity. Do you understand what I'm saying? How many of you understood everything I said? Be
I didn't
honest.
understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't.
So if the speech was about how people use words just to be pompous, would these words make sense? Yes, because I'm then demonstrating that. Okay. So if I'm going to tell you about you see, viscosity is very, very important, and without viscosity you cannot do much. And when viscosity acts against gravity, things become very difficult. Would you expect such words being used in a speech?
No.
Why not? What if the speech is about a rocket launch and how science is very, very important to take us to Mars? Then will it make sense? How can you talk about a rocket launch without talking about viscosity and gravity? You can't. You see, you have to understand whether it is appropriate to the speech's purpose and audience. If the purpose is to inform, you have to use technical terms, right? Newton's second law of motion says, and you have to state Newton's second law of motion, whether the people in the audience understand it or not. To explain, you have to understand. You have to use that. Like, you know what? It was like Schrödinger's cat. It was there and it was also not there. And you're maybe talking about a scientist. So scientists are supposed to use that kind of language. Or if you use words like, say, jugaad. In India, something we all do is jugaad. That is, we tend to somehow get things done in cheap, cost-effective ways. So I'm using a word jugaad, but it makes sense because I'm talking about India. You will not say, in Switzerland, I was not expecting people to do jugaad, but there, right there in front of me, the waiter got everything I needed. Probably not appropriate to the purpose and the audience. Correctness, grammar, pronunciation, and word selection. You all understand word selection, alliterations, triads, beautiful words. We all understand that. Beautiful quotations. You will give them for props also. And if the language of the speech is good, you will also give it here for language. So if someone speaks with a mother tongue influence, is it good or bad? Tell me honestly. Be honest, be realistic. It's an international speech contest.
I think it's neither good nor bad.
Okay, who said that? Neither good nor bad?
Aditya Malik.
Aditya, I know Aditya, your last name is Malik, thank you. Well, Aditya, I believe you might be a little mistaken here, because it's very, very important for us to speak in a way by which everyone understands that we are well educated and we know how to speak in a way that is understandable by the noble elite. What are you even speaking about? Oh, please. Am I speaking with an accent? Yes, I am.
Yes.
I'm speaking with an accent. If I was an NRI, you'd probably be appropriate. Shraddha Kapoor speaks with an accent. I love that. But imagine this. Listen carefully. Aditya, I feel that, when you say that our accent is both good and bad, you're absolutely right. Our accent is just a part. And we should speak in the way we should speak. We should be authentic in the way we are speaking. Am I speaking it with a slight mother tongue influence?
Yes.
Yes, I am. Is it good or bad? If you can't understand my speech, it's bad. If I'm talking So think about this. Imagine this is the speech. What would you like to have? Would you like to have idli, vada, sambar, and would you like some rasam as well? Is it a good way of speaking or not?
No.
Not.
In fact, it is if you say like this. Ladies and gentlemen, the other day I went to Kerala and I went to this Indian restaurant which served authentic food. And the waiter suddenly said, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to have Anna Sambar or Sambar rice?" It's very good because you're playing a character and you're doing the word selection very well. But of course, if you're not doing it in an insulting way, all of these other things are there. So we have to understand that there is nothing wrong in someone having a mother tongue influence, but you are comparing between speakers. You're not evaluating someone, you're judging. If someone speaks with a neutral accent, in an accent that is more understandable internationally, you have to give them better points for pronunciation and grammar. That's how it is. That's the rule of the world. English is meant to be spoken in a particular way. If someone pronounces the words right, you have to give them the right. If they don't, well, we can't help it. You have to cut marks. Are we clear on this aspect, everyone? If it's a
Yes, we are.
character who is doing it, yes. If it's talking about societal things, yes. But if you as a speaker is not able to use correct grammar and pronunciation, you can't. Also, if someone is using other languages and they're not translating, could be a problem. Jugaad is in the Oxford English Dictionary, so they can use a word like jugaad, but they may not understand what is sambar or whatever. So, using lentils or something. I mean, food wise, it's still okay. And the person came up to me and said, "मैं तुम्हें बहुत प्यार करता हूँ," and doesn't translate. So the person came up to me and said, "मैं तुम्हें बहुत प्यार करता हूँ." I was like, "What? You love me? And that also so much?" That's another way of translating. So all of this determines language. And with that, we are done with the ballot. And now it's time to, Asankhya, we're just going to take a little break right now. And I'm going to stop sharing because I have something very exciting for all of you. And that is a live demonstration wherein you will get an opportunity of judging at live international speech contest. So we have 3 people who will be speaking one after another, and then you will be given a link in which you have to rank them as per the ballot. So just go and download the ballot from Google. If you don't have it already, just go and search for International Speech Contest, Judges Ballot, have the ballot in front of you, and then we will come back and we will discuss what is it we did well and what is it we can do better. And for this section, I have with me someone who's gonna play a very important role. So we have the contest chair slash contest master slash storyteller slash everything, someone who I'm very proud of. He's not just a friend, but also a mentee who torments me and who has spent a lot of time talking to me till late hours. And however, sometimes he is absolutely right on time when it comes to doing things. He has been an erstwhile division director. One day, hopefully, he will also be a distinguished Toastmaster. But for now, he's going to be a very distinguished member of this training. Please welcome with a huge round of applause our District Chief Judge, Asankhya Vishwa Mohan, to take the proceedings forward.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Ayan. So this is again a subset of the JTP wherein we'll have first-hand mock international speech contest. So this is something wherein I'll urge you all to have the ballots handy with you. If you do not have the ballot in front of you, that will be sent out in the chat box that you can pick up from. That is something that is how we will be evaluating. The same ballot that we just discussed upon, you can make sure that you mark those respective speakers. Again, all the parameters that have been covered by distinguished Toastmaster Ayan. We will then be having a discussion with regards to the again the speakers that delivered the speech and how those parameters, what was our thought process behind the same while marking those respective speakers. Again, a constructive decision that helps us gain an understanding as to how we can become effective speakers. So now again, welcome all of you to the mock international speech contest for District 124 as part of the judges training program. I would like to invite the first speaker. And do I see the first speaker? Yeah. So we have the first
Asankhya,
speaker.
just one moment. I'm closing my video so that we can save everything. And I have a small request now. All the judges are supposed to be discreet. So please turn off your videos. Let only the speakers be there. We don't want to know who is judging, what kind of reactions you're having. So no reactions, please. All of you are now judges. Please understand. So turn off your cameras. Let's have only the speakers highlighted and speak, okay? Because hashtag Black Lives Matter. Is that why you're both wearing black? I have no idea. Let's find out more. Asankhya, over to you.
Thank you so much. Let's start. I have just shared the link through which you can download the updated international speech contest ballot that will help you mark the speakers. Let's start with the international speech contest. Are we ready for the international speech contest? A thumbs up. Thank you so much. So our first speaker is Toastmaster Aditya Malik. Toastmaster Aditya Malik, if you can just confirm, if you can just repeat after me today, it's again a good day to deliver a speech.
Today is another day to deliver my speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya. You are loud and clear, or clearly audible. I will hand the stage to you. Now, Aditya Malik, age is just a number. Age is just a number. Aditya Malik, the stage is all yours.
How many of you believe age is just a number? In life, we have an age to learn, and then learning stops and decline. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and present guests. Let me share one story with you. Until I had the same belief, age is not just a number. It is a benchmark, and you stop learning. 2019, I got transferred from my hometown to Chennai. I had to go to Chennai, a different city altogether. Suddenly, my mom came to me. Son, I need a smartphone now. What? A smartphone? What will you do with the smartphone? You don't know how to use it. Son, you'll go far from me. How will I call you? How will I see you? I have seen people using their mobile phones, having video call. Mom, it's not your cup of tea. You won't be able to do it. You're 55. Come on, be realistic. Son, please, I need a smartphone. I made you learn things. Can't you make me learn a smartphone? Mom, I don't have time to make you learn a smartphone. I have many things to do. Son, please, it's my humble request. Will you make me learn a smartphone? Okay, fine. I'll give you a smartphone and make you learn a smartphone as well. Friends, I bought a smartphone for my mom, gave to her, told her how she can use WhatsApp. This is my number. You click on this video icon, you will have video call with me when I'll go to Chennai. To my surprise, when I landed in Chennai and after spending few days, I got a call from my mom. It was a video call. I was surprised to see my mama calling me on video through WhatsApp. It was a happiness moment for me. And I saw a smartphone and we had a video call at the end. When I came back after months, what I saw to my surprise again, my mom was able to do video call, She was using YouTube lessons how to precious and delicious sweets, how to stitch new garments, how to weave new clothes. And I realized, isn't it a surprise to me? Like she's learning all these skills at this age. That was the lesson for me. I was not a good communicator. And I was thinking, it's my job to get up, go to office, do the work, come back. It's not my age to learn communication and leadership skills. But when I saw my mom, she could have learned those skills at that age. Why can I not? I took a decision in 2019, and that's when my Toastmasters journey started. I got an opportunity to join Toastmasters in my organization. I took that opportunity. I challenged myself. You have to improve your communication. You need to challenge yourself to grab opportunity for the leadership. Things were on the learning curve. Sometimes it was so steep, but that dedication, the commitment, which I saw in my mom, was a driving force to keep my journey on. From the moment I spoke first time as table topic speaker to my journey as area director, it was a roller coaster. I had ups, I had downs, but the dedication, that commitment, I kept with myself. And that particular moment, my decision to join Toastmasters and continue with this journey so far is a clear testament. Age is just a number. You can take challenge at any age. You can take challenge to improve yourself. You can take challenge to learn new skills. Don't let age number stop you to learn and grow. So do you believe now is age just a number? Leave it. Over to you, District Chief Judge Toastmaster Asankhya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya. We'll have 1 minute of silence for all of our judges to mark their respective ballots. In the meanwhile, I encourage the second speaker to be ready with her speech. Taya, please show the red card once what the 1 minute is over. Thank you, Taima. I would like to invite the speaker two. Toastmaster Smriti to take this turn on a video. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smriti. A quick confirmation, if you can just repeat after me, today is a good day to deliver a speech.
Today is a good day to deliver a speech.
Perfect, loud and clear. I would now hand the stage to you. Toastmaster Smriti Sagarika Mohanty, the 14-year-old me, Toastmaster Smriti Sagarika Mohanty, the stage is all yours.
Some people come to our life and quickly go. Some stay for a while, leave their footprints in our heart, and we are never, ever the same. Esteemed member of this evening today, does this sound to be a romantic quote to you? A nostalgic, fascinating dialogue? Well, maybe. But today, I'm not here to share a fictional love story. I'm here to give you a glimpse of my real life narrative. Let me walk you all through my memory lane and introduce the three superheroes of this particular story. The 14-year-old me, my dad, and the new boy at school. My dad, my superhero, and I was his little girl. Just like any other little princess, I used to get the maximum pampering from my dad. I used to do what best I could to impress him. Dressing well for occasion, respecting kids, and also paying tribute to elders. That's what I usually do when I am around my dad. Surprisingly, I started doing the same thing for the new boy at school. Well, the 14-year-old me was now on a mission to impress both the men even without their permission. It was such a fairy tale, just like a breath of fresh air to inhale. But life had some other plans. Something unusual happened. It took a steep turn when the 14-year-old me, on one unfortunate morning, lost her dad. Fellow Toastmasters, how do you deal with such unfortunate event of life? Mine was hard as nails. I was clueless how to deal with the situation and recover it. I was horrified, petrified, and terrified with that loss. I took some time. To come back to life, to its original shape. But do you know what was the most striking moment of that event? It was the juggling emotions. The juggling emotions of that 14-year-old me. In a dilemma, whether to grieve or feel sorrow or bad about the loss of father, or unfolding the new adventurous emotions, love for the new boy at school. Trust me when I say this, it was horrifying experience for me. I was scared. Am I doing something wrong? Do I have the liberty to crush on someone when I actually lost the most important person of my life? It was that dilemma I'm talking about. Why? Why we come across such emotional journey in our life? Why the 14-year-old me had to make a choice, an option on that uneventful occasion? My naive state of mind decided to avoid all the feelings and emotion and stay disconnected from the outside world. Surprisingly, the new boy at school was silently absorbing the emotional vulnerability and took the initiative to calm me down. I still remember the very first time I heard to those mesmerizing words where he said, "Hey, I'm sure you will be fine. If you need someone to talk, I'm there for you." Quite courteously, he said, to which I answered, Thank you. Sure. That was the conversation. That was the beginning of a new story. He came to my life, and just like that, the summer fell into fall. He blended all the emotions which I was deprived of for a quiet moment in my life. His companionship taught me to live in the moment, accept life the way it is, and treasure the present, which is more important. We kept moving forward together. It took me time, a little while, to start living in the moment again, which helped me to bring a balance between my mind and my heart. But it was not easy as I am explaining it today. The quiet moments in which he was there helped me to understand the value of present and people who are available in the present. Now, if you are wondering what happened next to me and the new boy at school, well, that's a story for another day. But as a wise man once told, fools learn from their mistake. However, a wiser man learns from the other mistake. It may not be a mistake for me, but however, a learning which came as a very crucial moment of my life. If you'd like to understand, ladies and gentlemen, do remember. They say the most important thing in life is present. Let's live it thoroughly rather than breaking it into segments. Initially, it may not be clear like a crystal glass of water, but trust me, trust yourself, trust in the present. This too shall pass. If I learned something, then it is living in the moment from the 14-year-old me, my dad, and the new boy at school. Back to you, Contest Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smriti. We will again have 1 minute of silence for the judges, all our judges to mark their respective ballots. Timer, please show the red card once 1 minute is up. In the meanwhile, I'll request the third speaker to be ready.
Is there an issue, Asankhya?
Yeah, I'll just check. So let's proceed with the third speaker. Is the third speaker ready? Just checking with the third speaker.
Asankhya, they are also asking us about the names of the speakers. So just to make it clearer, if you can just post it in the chat, that speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3.
Sure. So the speaker 1 was Toastmaster Aditya Malik. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Smriti Mohanty. And we have the third speaker as well who has joined us, Toastmaster Gauri. Are we good to go?
Yes, is it my speech?
Yes, it's your turn here.
Okay, just give me a second, please.
Sure. Thank you so much. So, Toastmaster Gauri, if you can just repeat after me quickly. Today is a good day to deliver a speech.
Today is a good day to deliver a speech.
Thank you so much. I'd hand the stage to you, Toastmaster Gauri Agarwal. Full plates, no boxes. Full plates, no boxes. Toastmaster Gauri Agarwal, the stage is all yours.
Hello, everyone. I am Gauri Agarwal, and I am a banya. Any banyas in the house? Okay. Which means that if this speech goes well, I might just try to sell it to you afterwards. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had to battle cliches? Anyone? And if yes, have goats and chickens been a part of your saga? Well, up in the north, Agarwal is a caste that belongs to the creed of Banyas, and they're infamous for being traditional, miserly, and strictly vegetarian. Now I'm all up for traditions. I love our weddings, the colorful attire, the music, the whole shebang. Miserly, not really my style. Vegetarian, absolutely not. I am a non-veg Agarwal. Any non-vegetarian banyas in the house? Seema, is your hand raised from before, or are you like me?
No, it's from before. I'm pure vegetarian.
Okay. But I promise you, I can justify this because I'm a mixed breed. My grandfather was a banya, of course, but from Punjab. My mother is a full-blooded Punjabi from both sides of her family, which means that I am 3/4 Punjabi. The odd one out, my grandmother was a hardcore banya, traditional, miserly, and vegetarian. Now, the dining table in her house looked like bitter gourd, ladyfinger, lentils, moong dal, karela, such delicacies, right? And I grew up eating all of them. But you're on the other side of the spectrum. The dining table of the maternal side of my family looked like butter chicken, palak chicken, curd chicken, mutton biryani, chicken biryani. Like all choices in life, I had made my choice. And although my tender brain could navigate both the tables with ease, but I liked one more than the other. I'm going to call my grandmother Sherlock, and you'll get to know why. If I would have met David Dhawan, I would have proposed to him Detective Number 1, and it would star Sherlock. And here's why. It was a beautiful Saturday morning of February when the sun was shining just right, the birds were humming harmoniously, and marigold garland aroma was spreading in the air. It was the grand day of the wedding of my cousin Gaurav. Now, Agarwal weddings are gastronomical pilgrimages. No chicken, no meat, not even an egg in sight. But where there's a will, there's a way. By lunch, my stomach was growling louder than the band. I had to do something. With the stealth of a ninja, I quickly moved away from the table, pulled my phone out, and ordered myself some brain curry, butter chicken, and mutton biryani. Of course, I was not going to eat this alone. There were a nasty bunch of people who were going to enjoy at the cost of my courage and labor. I made the call. I silently came back and sat on the table with a sly smile on my face. Half-heartedly, I nibbled on a piece of paneer while waiting for the phone to ring. Finally, the phone buzzed, and I stretched out my neck to look out for Sherlock. And to my surprise, she was doing the same. She returned each and every micro expression, making me feel like a chiclet. I quickly cut all cords of contact with her and hurried to the back door of Tivoli Gardens, where the delivery boy was waiting with my sumptuous packet in his hand, smelling like heaven. Money exchanged hands, and I picked up the packet and asked the wait staff to help me carry the food inside in their trolley covered with a white cloth. All of 5 foot, Sherlock sprung from nowhere. What have you got there? Must be dirty dishes. In a swift move of her hand, she removed the white cloth to reveal all the meat. Oh God, oh God, oh God. If someone would feed you my skin and bones, will you eat it? Okay, Dadi, stop being so over dramatic. A slight smile finally hit her lips. It was covered in Punjabi language for all the Punjabis in the house. Now, this story has something to tell. It might not, my eating non-veg might not fit well with the banya in my surname. But honestly speaking, credentials are more for the appetite of public perception. It just gives an opportunity for people to judge us. I don't think what I eat determines what I am or my character in any which way. This was my box, and your box may be different. Not married at 30, no kids at 40. Who determines these rules or these deadlines? To each their own, right? I have come to understand one thing, that it's not even worth debating these topics because people hear what they want to hear any which way. Let me ask Toastmaster Asankhya. If a chicken lays eggs in the oven, will you start calling them cookies?
No.
But some people can. So just live your life and choose your battles wisely. May your plates always overflow with your favorite dishes, whether served with a Michelin star precision or tossed together like a late night snack. The box is immaterial. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gauri. We'll observe final 1 minute before we proceed with the further segment of the session. I urge you all to collate your results, mark your first, second, third place winners, not just on your respective ballots, but on the Google form that has been just shared on the chat box.
All right, let me take over from here. Roles have been reversed. So everyone, as soon as you're done, as soon as 2 minutes are over, Asankhya, let us know, and then I'll take it forward. So please cast your votes for the first, second, and third place winner using the Google form that has been shared with you. Our first speaker was Aditya Malik. A second speaker was Shruti Mohanty, and a third speaker was Gauri Agarwal.
We can proceed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So with that, I quickly move on to some important business. So I have with me two very special ballots because it's very important for us to guess and gauge what the other ballots are like. The first one is the Table Topics Contest Judges Guides and Ballots, which is very similar to the ISC with slight differences. So instead of speech structure, you clearly have opening, body, and close, as in opening, body, and conclusion, stated here under content. Can you see this here? Under content, opening, body, and close is stated separately so that you don't get confused. And there is also another element called smoothness, which is about the uses of crutch words. Because in an impromptu speech, if someone is more smooth than another, uses less crutch words, and there is smoothness in terms of beautifully thoughts flowing, you should give them more points. Under effectiveness, logic, directness, enthusiasm, achievement of purpose, audience response is all mentioned clearly. Physical, voice, same, appropriateness, name, correctness, instead of 10, you have 5 points here. Because of course, there are lesser opportunities to have wonderful words and prepare in advance because it's impromptu. So instead of 10, it has just 5. Okay. And effectiveness has 25 and speech development has 30. So content has 55 instead of 50 and language has 15 instead of 20. So this is the difference. One very important thing to note is if someone is not speaking on the topic, you can cut marks only in certain places. You cannot cut marks for physical and voice because that's a part of delivery. You can then understand that the effectiveness is not there because achievement of purpose, the purpose of an impromptu speech is to speak on the topic that is given. Okay, so the person is not choosing the topic. So unlike an international speech where the purpose can be to motivate, persuade, whatever, for table topics, the purpose would be to speak on the topic. So accordingly, in effectiveness, you can cut marks if you feel the topic is not on the, the speech is not on the topic, opening, body, close, organization, smoothness, etc. In content part, you can reduce marks, but you cannot reduce marks in things that are not directly there. So please keep these things in mind, okay? The person might have excellent opening, excellent body, excellent closing, give them the points. You can only cut marks in certain points. Logic is not speaking on the topic. Directness is not speaking on the topic, is speaking on a different topic. Now, sometimes people get confused. If a topic has a statement, the speaker can agree or disagree. The speaker can speak for the topic, against the topic. The speaker can change the topic in a different way and interpret the topic in a better way. These are all excellent. It's not like the speaker is not speaking on the topic. They have covered another aspect of the topic. So if the topic given to in the contest is junk food is healthy and everyone is saying, no, it is healthy, no, it is not healthy. And the speaker says junk food is healthy, provided you're not wealthy. Because if the choice is between junk food and no food, I would choose junk food any day. And then talks about poverty. So it's a very interesting take on the topic. So look at how intelligently they are doing, how they're doing, whether they've understood or not. Okay. So if the topic is junk food is healthy and the person says, well, I don't know about junk food, but what I will tell you today is having chicken when you're a banya is not healthy. And go something on a tangent because of the speech he or she has just heard. So that could be an issue that you have to face. Okay, do you understand? So if you do understand, I'm going to go to the evaluation contest, but I'm just going to ask if anyone has any questions. Any questions on the table topic speech ballot? Which is almost like the international speech ballot with slight differences. Language has, instead of 20, 15. Content, instead of 50, it has 25. Smoothness has been added. And that's about it. All right. Now we come to the evaluation contest. Evaluation contest doesn't have any physical voice modulation, nothing. Unfortunately or fortunately, a lot of judges still make the mistake of evaluating people, the contestants' way of speaking, which is not correct. Evaluation is about analytical quality. Is the analytical quality clear and focused? Can you see my screen? I think. Asankhya?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So analytical quality is whether someone is clear or focused. Now, analytical quality is for the entire speech. So when an evaluation is there, they evaluate and give you points, plus points as well as minus points, right? What is it you did well? What is it you could have done better? So analytical quality is both. What is it you have done well and what is it you could have done better? A lot of times people give analytical quality only for commendations. It's wrong. Analytical quality should be for both commendations as well as recommendations in a way as to whether they have been analyzed well. Then they should look at what kind of recommendations have been provided. So are the recommendations positive? Are they specific? Are they helpful? So if you actually look at it, if you focus on recommendations in an evaluation contest, you get more points than someone who is only talking about what went well. Because for recommendations, there is a separate 30 points. If you do not have a summation, you're finished. You can have commendation, recommendation, but if you don't sum up the speech or your entire evaluation in the end, you will straight away lose 15 points. And technique. Now, technique can be anything. However, the technique should be sympathetic, sensitive, and motivational. And here, indirectly, body language, voice modulation comes into the picture because you are sympathetic through your expressions, right? You're sensitive through your choice of words. You're motivational through your voice modulation, right? All of these things are subconsciously present. So if you're getting affected by body language, voice modulation, etc., don't feel guilty, but please understand that is indirectly there, but officially you're marking them for their technique, which is sympathetic, sensitive, and motivational. Is that clear? Are we all clear with this?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So let me quickly move on to, okay. So very simple question. Now that the training is almost done, and you have just evaluated people, are you ready to practice what you have learned? Can I get a thumbs up? And Asankya, you can tell me if they are ready. Are you ready to practice what you have learned? Are you ready to be a judge at the club, area, division, or maybe even district level? Can I get a thumbs up, future judges?
Yeah, we have a resounding yes, yes.
You have a resounding yes. I absolutely love that. So I just want to remind you about an obligation that all of you have. So judges have an obligation to, one, the contestants, two, Toastmasters International, three, audience, and four, themselves. This, by the way, is directly related to something to do with Toastmasters. Can anyone guess? Judges have an obligation. There are only four obligations that judges have: to contestants, to Toastmasters International, to audience, and to themselves. Why? What is this? Why is it so important in Toastmasters International? What does it have to do with something very, very important in Toastmasters International? Come on, quiz time. Does any of you know? Anyone? Any volunteers, Asankhya?
Yeah, we have a raise of hand from Shashank.
Hi, Shashank. Can we have your answer?
So it's all about integrity. It is all about discretion, and it is all about your personal development.
Shashank, you're 25% correct. I'll give it to you to an extent. It is directly related to the four core values of Toastmasters International. Can anyone tell me what these are?
Integrity, respect, service,
service, and
excellence.
excellence. Now listen to this very carefully, okay? Look at the points. Judges have an obligation to themselves. Whether they have integrity or not, who will know? Only they will know. Only you will know, right? Whether you have judged fairly or not, correct? So you have an obligation to yourself through integrity, to all the judges through integrity. So when there is a objection that comes in during the protest, are you doing the right thing that the judges only will know, and you have to play your role with integrity. So that's number one. Second, respect. How is respect and audience related? If you don't work with respect, then how is that having or negating the obligation you have to the audience? What respect are we talking about? So how is audience's obligation having anything to do with respect? Any guesses? No answer. So this is very tough. Now, please understand, a lot of times, if everyone feels, oh my God, what a brilliant speech, this was such a funny speech, and the person doesn't even come in the top three or, becomes third, The audience doesn't know, right? The audience will be like, oh, what a biased place. Toastmasters is a biased place. The judges are biased. So judges have an obligation to the audience. The audience is paying so much attention to ensure there are fair contests. You as a judge have an obligation to the contest. If all the audiences have enjoyed a speech, you may not have been interested in it, but you have to give it the points, because audience response also gets tracked in a lot of places. The third is, of course, Toastmasters International, which is service. By serving, by deciding to be a judge, you are actually serving Toastmasters International. And finally, you have an obligation to contestants. What is your obligation to the contestants? There's only one value left. Any idea? No one knows.
Being fair to them.
Excellence. No,
Being fair to them.
excellence. Yes, Seema, you have to be fair to everyone, yes. But it
Yes.
is excellence. So an international speech contest is an example of excellence. The contestants are putting their best foot forward. You have to have an obligation towards their excellence, towards their pursuit of excellence by helping choose the best speaker that day. Okay. So with that, there could, however, be some barriers to objectivity. So we will quickly look at this. First could be speaker position. Please do not have. So usually the first speaker and the last speaker they win in a ballot if there are many speakers, because you remember the last speech, or because you're like, I'll forget the first speech. You keep remembering the first speech and you keep comparing it to the first speech. So speaker position can become a problem. Try ensuring this objectivity does not become a barrier. Champion for the underdog. Oh, this person is from a Hindi medium school, this person is from a very simple background, put in so much effort, so subconsciously you want to support the person. It's no one's fault, right? If someone was able to go to a better school or have a better formal education. No, you have to judge the speech, not the speaker. You can take sides of the other person later, mentor them, do whatever, but during the contest you cannot champion for the underdog. Someone who is good but not good enough. Halo effect or reverse halo effect. Halo effect is like, oh my God, this is such a nice person, such a wonderful person, always helping, sponsor, mentor, 4 times distinguished Toastmaster. Obviously, he should be the winner. How can anyone else be? Or reverse halo effect. Oh my God, that person is horrible. Last time the person was in that election, did this, did that, does not pay dues on time, is a very bad person, and I don't like him or her or whatever. So there should be no halo or reverse halo effect. There should be no multitasking. So if you're trying to do judging and parallelly do cooking, or check what's happening on Netflix or whatever, it's multitasking. You cannot do that. You should only pay attention to what's happening. In a virtual medium, of course, you tend to multitask. In reality also, it gets very difficult. Someone is talking to you, doing something, because they don't know you're a judge maybe. So do not multitask. It becomes a barrier to objectivity. Second time around, oh, that person is so good. Last time the person was there and came first runner-up in the district. This time we must give them a chance. No. Also, are yaar, this person last time he went to world headquarters. Now let's give someone else a chance here. Not the same person again. No. That person's choice. Toastmasters allows it. Who are you to say and think like this? Give someone else a chance. Same thing, like, oh, same person, let's give someone else a chance. Not the norm. International speech should be motivational. How can they deliver a humorous speech? International speech can be anything. It can be motivational, persuasive, humorous, information, whatever. There is nothing called norm. Any speech can be an ISC speech, okay? So do not let that be a barrier to objectivity. Prejudice and personal preferences. You feel smoking is injurious to health. Some person delivers a speech that smoking is not the worst thing, drinking is. You're like, how can you say that? Smoking is terrible. So your own personal prejudice against smoking should not come in the way of that speaker's choices. Or personal preference, you might have a particular style, or you like certain things and the person is going against it. It is that person's speech you have to evaluate, not that person's thoughts. Okay. Affinity bias. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of affinity bias? Think about it. What is affinity bias? Affinity bias is when you have an affinity towards certain people, or okay, say for example, you are an
Bias to a
ambassador.
distinct thing.
Sorry, Zaire.
Bias to a distinct thing.
Yeah, correct. Towards which you have an affinity. Okay. Say for example, you love having mutton biryani, and the speaker is talking about mutton biryani in the speech, and like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so true. Mutton biryani is it. So unconsciously, you don't understand, but there is an affinity bias. Or for example, you're from a particular section. Say you are a Marwari and someone delivers a speech talking about the Marwari community, or you're a Bengali and someone delivers that, Bengalis are really good, they have fish, blah, blah, I don't know. Could be anything like that, okay? So you have an affinity towards a religion, towards a set of people, and that can also become a bias because you feel the speaker is one of you, from your club, from your area, from your division, from your community, maybe. Okay, that could be an affinity bias. Partial attendance. So partial attendance is, you please understand that you have to be there present fully. If you feel for some reason you're not there because you were multitasking between some phone rang or in a virtual contest you got disconnected, that is a barrier in itself, a real barrier. So ensure that barrier to objectivity is removed. So with that, we come to the end of this. I'm going to ask you if you have any questions, and we will be sharing this PPT with you where there are lots of beautiful case studies that you can go through if you want to go through these case studies, which will give you a clue as to how to react in a particular question. Asankhya, dear District Chief Judge, do we have time for the case studies, or we can just share it with them and let them take a call later on?
Can share that, distinguished Osmas Rayan, and I will just share two links. One will be the feedback form and second will be the judges assessment test. In the meanwhile, we can declare the results for the mock ISC that we just conducted.
Wonderful. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we have the results for the mock ISC. First of all, a great way to understand whether you're judging well or not is determined by whether your top three match the top three of the results. So today, all of you did something amazing. All of you had the same top three in the top three. How did you do that? It's shocking. All of you had your first, second, third, someone who was in the first, second, third. But I'm going to share that result very soon. Before that, I think Nidhi Arora has a question. Nidhi, what is your question?
Hi, Toastmaster, and I just wanted to check one thing. What are the timelines to complete that assessment test?
This District Chief Justice is going to give that answer. But in the meantime, we have the results. So would you like to know what the results are? Of course, I'm not going to ask you to guess because all of you have voted. Okay. In third place, we have, drum rolls, Aditya Malik. All right. And it's a tight race between two women for second place and first place. In second place, we have Gauri Agarwal. And finally, drum rolls, any guesses? The winner is Smruti Mohanty in first place. So that, ladies and gentlemen, are the results for today. You do have a test that you have to take, which you have to be very logical about. Please go through the scenarios first that Asankhya Vishwamohan, our District Chief Judge, will be sharing so that you can do the test better. If there are any other questions, I will be happy to take them. Please do ensure you submit the feedback form so that your attendance can be marked. Okay. So both are the same form. You can do any of the thing. Feedback link for the session for Nirmika and me. Feedback link for the session has been posted again, and JTP assessment test expected to score a minimum of 70% is below. Please go through the presentation PPT that Asankhya Vishwamohan, our District Chief Judge, will be sharing. Go through all the scenarios so that you're more prepared about the case studies, and that will be a nice refresher for the training, and then you can fill in the assessment. Would you like to add anything else, Asankhya Vishwamohan?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, distinguished host, Mr. Ayar, for conducting this judges training program. Again, I will just want to mention that by the time his session was about to start, he was already caught up in another session and made sure that, again, he joins before time. Thank you so much for everyone for staying there. We still have another, we started with around 60, 61 participants. We still are at 54 all throughout the 3-hour session. Thank you everyone for staying there, giving a valuable time. This will definitely be helpful in making you effective judges. I'm sure how both our trainers did justice to their respective roles. And we are open to any feedbacks. You can reach out to us. Again, Toastmaster Nirmika has already shared her details. All the participants can procure the JTP PPT if they might want from their respective division directors. And yes, Toastmaster Bhavna, you will be getting the certification mailed to you once you complete the JTP assessment successfully, marking your attendance at the same time scoring the minimum assessment as per the eligibility to become a District 184 certified judge. And both the links have been shared. I urge you to cover both the go through both the links, the feedback as well as the judges assessment. The judges assessment is again a mandatory thing for you to submit and score a minimum 70%. I'll reiterate 70% is the minimum score that will be expected. And once you complete and submit the form, make sure that you go through the scores, respective scores, as and when you get the view results option once you have submitted the form. That's about it from our end. And thank you so much for being a patient audience. Do make sure that you complete to answer Toastmaster Nidhi's question. Do make sure that you complete this latest by tomorrow end of day. Latest, that is something that would be expected with regards to the JTP assessment test. Thank you so much. And with this, we conclude both the CRTP as well as the judges training program. The first one. Thank you all for joining. Yeah, again to reiterate, Toastmaster Iftikhar, by tomorrow end of day, you can complete the assessment test. Thank you so much. If anyone might want to add something, we are open. We conclude. Yeah.
Asankhya, are you giving certificates? There's been a question whether you're
He answered.
issuing certificate.
That will be issued as and when we. So another update for all of you, since you are there, we will be having the Chief Judges Training Program that will be conducted by me next Saturday, 7:30 p.m. We will be doing that. Again, that will be to get yourself certified as a Chief Judge. Since you already have completed the Judges Training Program, now again to take your judges proficiency to the next level, I urge you all to join the Chief Judges Training Program that will enable you to become a certified judge in District 124. So that will be, the links for the same will be shared again shortly, that you can go through. That will be shared with all the area directors and the division directors. So that's it from my end. Any other queries, questions that anyone might have? Otherwise, we will wind this up. Okay, no further queries.
I think Seema has
Hello?
again asked where is the
Yeah,
assignment form? It has been
actually,
shared.
I got disconnected in between and I'm
Yeah, it has
back.
been shared again, Seema, if you can just check.
Okay.
Yeah, feedback link for the session is what you have to do. The assessment where you have to score a minimum of 70% is given just below. Asankhya, if people are still interested, even though the meeting is over, I can still take them through some of the case studies and scare them a little and then embarrass them further. So I can do that as well if you would like to take some time to do that. So it's all up to you.
I think, again, we are.
Toastmasters membership.
Yeah, we are
Sorry.
over time. So I think we should wind this up, and we again will be having subsequent trainings to make sure that you are part of, most importantly, your district, your division groups, your area groups, most importantly, the district EC groups. If you are part of any executive committee of the club, make sure that you get the information so that you are well aware as to what trainings are happening in the district. All the best to all the contestants and the judges who will be taking the baton forward for conducting effective contests this contest cycle. Again, with this, I wind this up. If any further queries, otherwise we can call it a day.
Will you be emailing us the forms?
This is something that has been sent here, Toastmaster Ramesa. You can pick
Okay.
that box right away. This is something that won't be emailed. Once you complete this assessment, you will be getting the certification for being a certified judge in District 124 after you have completed this assessment test. This assessment test link, you can pick it from here itself. This won't be emailed. This is something you should be completing from here itself. And the timeline is, again, to reiterate, next 24 hours. Tomorrow, 12 a.m., you can complete it latest.
Asankhya, a question for those who fail miserably in the test, what should you suggest that they do?
I beg your pardon, Ayanda?
If someone is unable to clear the test and get 70%, what are they supposed to do?
At max, they can give it twice as part of this judges training cycle. And then when we again conduct another judges training program, you can be part of the same. You can again attempt it just in case if you are not able to clear the passing marks.
So I have something to add here, dear District Chief Judge. So if for some reason you do not clear, please reach out to your area or division director, go through the presentation once again, go through the presentation from end to end, go through all the slides, go through some of the case studies to ensure you're absolutely prepared and only then attend. Maybe you were not paying attention. Maybe there was something that was mentioned that you forgot about, which stopped you from analyzing the situations. If you are in such a situation, please take care and do not simply reattempt the test just like that. Go through the material and then reattempt the test. That's all the advice I have for you. And back to you, Asankhya Vishwamohan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, I hope this was just a quick thumbs up with from all of you. I hope this was something that was effective in terms of helping you gain that insight as to what goes behind. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Seema. So the idea behind the same is simply just to enable us to become better judges, at the same time more cognizant contestants going forward for the upcoming contest season. We are aware about what goes behind the know-hows that we need to aware about with respect to the judges ballot. And thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Ryan, for taking that, getting into the tidbits, the intricacies of each and every aspect, the parameter of the judges ballot. Thank you everyone for joining in. We'll see you next Saturday, 7:30 p.m. for the Chief Judges Training Program. Again, that will be something that for which we'll be sharing the details shortly. Thank you everyone. Thank you.